Hello and welcome to our annual Explosion live stream hosted by Guild TV. So today we're going to see our Birmingham Lions in an epic match of American football versus Oxford Brookes. So you can see us here, we're waiting patiently at the side of the field, waiting for the teams to emerge. I'm your co-host Lily Neach.
And I am your co-host Ayana Sharma. The atmosphere here is electric. Crowds are gathering and the chat is going wild. This will certainly be a game to remember as our Lions have come remembered, claws out and prepared.
That's very true, and it was a really close battle for them 6 days ago against the Hertfordshire Hurricanes. They did win 15-14, of course, and they are setting themselves up for a triumphant season, as far as I can see.
Absolutely. We have an exciting game for the crowd today, as Oxford Brookes had a stellar season last year with an 8-0 undefeated streak, claiming the Division 2 Southern Conference Championship. But I believe our Lions will fight hard and do us proud.
Definitely. We also have a performance from Buds coming up, so let's see what their rehearsals have been like.
My name's Christina. I'm performance squad leader. Buds is Birmingham University Dance Society. So we do dance for basically all levels. This specifically is the performance squad. So there were like auditions, you can audition to be in the squad. There's a lot of pressure because obviously, there's going to be so many people watching, but I'm so excited. I've really been able to be creative with the routine. It's a huge event and it is a great opportunity. So I chose the music. It's a lot of Beyonce and Rihanna. But I chose these songs specifically because I think they would really fit Explosion. As a squad leader, I found out that I was going to be squad leader before summer, so I've had summer to kind of put a routine together. The actual squad I've only had since the very start of October. We've worked very hard. Explosion is such a huge event.
With Explosion being our university's biggest sporting event of the year, the crowds today are growing as we await the performance of Buds. It's great to witness all the dedication that society's put into their performances.
Definitely. And they're also not the only group performing tonight. We actually have the Birmingham's very own cheer squads, the Pussycats and the Tabby Cats, gearing up for a performance of their own tonight.
And for anyone who doesn't know the difference between our two cheer squads, the Tabby Cats hold down the fort at uni, cheering for our squads and keeping the energy going.
And the Pussycats represent our university at countrywide cheer competitions. So we went and spoke to the team and saw how their rehearsals are going and how the season's been shaping up for them so far.
It's been honestly amazing. I did all-star competitive cheer before uni, so coming into the uni cheer I kind of knew what cheer was, but from doing uni cheer I've made so many friends, like literally all of my friends are from cheer, and the community is just amazing. Like, it's so social, but also it's like such a good form of exercise. It's just the best thing, and I've made the best friends.
A typical rehearsal day for us usually looks like a warm-up to start off with, make sure everyone's ready to go, and then we usually practice whatever we learnt the session before, so like a dance or some stunts. And then after that, if we have more to learn, which we still do now, we learn that bit, polish it, and then we usually show each other. And then we always finish off our rehearsals / our training sessions with a circle, and we do BVC holler, which is like our thing on cheer.
My favourite part is probably the dance part of the routine, just because I've never really done it before. I've always done like all-star cheerleading. This is more like sideline cheerleading, and it's like really new and exciting.
And for Explosion, I'm most looking forward to seeing the routine come together. We've worked really hard over the last 6 weeks to get the routine. Seeing it all come alive on the pitch, I'm really excited for, and seeing like for the freshers to experience Explosion for the first time is amazing because it's such a good experience. And after Explosion we have a social when all of our alumni come back, so I'm really excited for that as well. After Explosion we split into our competition teams, so we'll start getting our our routine's ready to take to comp in March, April time. So yeah, that will be really good.
I take pride in cheer because I think it's something that a lot of people didn't realise was so athletic, and it takes so much strength and just like power and hard work and discipline to do. So it's really nice to prove to people that it takes a lot as well, and that we're really talented and hardworking.
Wow, that is some great work from our cheerleaders. It's really awesome to see how much work they put into a big event like this. This is like the biggest event of the year for them.
Yeah, they really need to drop their workout routine.
They do. And hey, speaking of workout routines, we are now joined by the head coach of the Lions, Justin Lester. Nice to meet you, Justin.
Nice to meet you.
Hi, good to meet you too.
So after the height of last week's game, winning 15-14, how's it been getting the players focused for Explosion this week?
It hasn't been a problem at all. I think everybody's fired up for it. Naturally, we didn't have the game last year, so Explosion. So I think they've got twice as much energy to play today than they would have done last year. So everybody's just massively looking forward to it.
Definitely. And how do you think you'll fare up going against Oxford Brookes from the undefeated streak that they've had last season?
I have every confidence we'll win. I wouldn't like to think, I wouldn't say anything else.
Yeah.
But no, I think we've been working hard. We've got a good, strong physical team. They're well drilled. So we'll see. There's no disrespect to OBU, by the way. But I'm confident we'll win.
Yeah.
Definitely. And so, of course, you've got a lot of players on this season that were also playing for you last year, maybe even the year before that. So would you say that there have been moments from those years that you have learned from and that you're going to take into this game today?
I think I learned a lot last year. So it's my first time as head coach for a university team.
Right, okay.
Like I say, I started late last year. I was kind of appointed maybe a few weeks before the season. And yeah, I've learned so much, as have all the coaches. And we're definitely bringing that today in terms of the experience we've got.
And who would you say your playmakers are on the offence and defence?
Oh, good question. I'd like to see our O-line. Our O-line, we've got a bunch of rookie guys this year.
Yeah.
We've got a few returners, but they are just doing so well to say they've only been playing the sport for maybe 4 to 6 weeks.
Right, okay.
Our O-line is just, I'm really, really proud of the guys. They know what they're doing. They're playing with aggression. They're moving people around, and that's all we can really ask for. And I think sometimes O-line can be overlooked.
Yeah.
So I think I've got to call those guys out as playmakers. And then vice versa, I would say our D-line. We have a really strong D-line, an aggressive D-line, and I'm hoping that's going to make the big difference today.
Great. Thank you so
Perfect.
much.
Thank
It's
you.
so nice to
No
hear
problem.
from you.
Thank
And
you.
good luck for the game ahead.
Absolutely. Good luck.
Thank you.
So, as we all know, the theme this year is Pride Never Dies.
Testing,
and
testing.
we
1, 2, 3.
investigated into what the kit means for our players and also how they take care of it. So let's see how they do that.
I'm Chris Mitchell. I'm the DC for the club, which means defensive coordinator. I'm in charge of our defense. We tend to keep our first 20 digits for our veteran or our best players. So 0 through 20. After that, they very loosely correlate to positions. Technically, you'll see like the 90s on D-line, for example. Largely, it can come down to preference. We're not too strict on it. You'll all know they've got their shoulder pads and helmet on. Popular belief is that it's purely protective. Strictly speaking, that is true, but they do tend to be used as weapons as well. They're keeping a player safe, but they're also making these impacts a lot harder.
Hello, my name is Sean Shoyabi, and I'm club president for the Birmingham Lions. I've been injured for the past, 2 to 3 weeks since camp, and even still, I'm still in my boots. I'm not padded up right now, but I've been enjoying getting involved in the warm-ups, helping the rookies and the younger players with their technique, with getting a feel for the sport, still taking pride in being a part of the team. For this season, my team number is going to be 11, and why I chose that number is because there are some players, like one of the best players in the NFL, my position, Michael Parsons, he's worn number 11. Another player, Abdul Carter, has worn number 11, and they're like edge rushers, they're dynamic, they disrupt the game, and that's what I aim to do, which is why I chose the number for this year. So before a game, I ensure that all my equipment, such as my mouth guards, my boots are clean. I clean my boots before every game, and after a game, the equipment secretaries wash our kit, but I ensure that I clean my mouth guard, clean my boots, even spray on my pads with Febreze to ensure there's no odour remaining after a game. So that's how I take care of my kit.
My name's Bav. I'm team captain and I also help out with the recruitment stuff. During training, we especially try to raise the standard every session. Every session we have sort of a motto before the session begins that we try and maintain throughout the whole 2-hour period. This year I'm be wearing number 1, so I'm supposed to be setting the standard for the rest of the players. Everyone will be looking to me to set the standard of the game. Taking pride in the kit is probably one of the most underrated things, because if your kit isn't right, then unfortunately you can't really play to the best of your ability. So I take good care of it always, keep it clean.
It's nice to see the players' pride shining through, not just in how they play, but how they look as well.
Definitely, and you can really tell that they're not the only ones who take pride in what they do and in their team. So we are actually joined now by the head coach of Oxford Brookes, Calvin Stitt. Nice to meet you, Calvin.
Good, thank you. How are you?
Awesome. So obviously you're just coming off an undefeated season from last year. So how do you plan on keeping the ball rolling coming from today's match? I'm going to ask you to speak into my mic because that one's not working.
Oh, do you want this one?
Thank you.
I just think basically the guys locked in at practice, and that's the biggest thing. We got a lot of returners back from last year, so we got a good group. And yeah, every practice they come out, show out, and yeah, we just keep getting better. So
Yeah. And from your success, how have you guys been preparing for the season?
we started practice really early, which helped a lot. And then just now we're practicing 4 times a week, which is a lot. And the guys are taking it well, so it's going well.
Definitely. And of course, we can see how hard the players have been working. But you coaches, of course, are also really working hard and helping the team win. So you and your team of coaches, how do you practice being together and really working as a team to help the players get that win?
We just come together as a family, as a group, and we really are a family, so that really helps. We always meet with each other, at least a lot of the time. I mean, Coach Manny, the receiver coach, we talk every day, so we are really tight, so it's good to see.
Amazing. And is there anyone on the team that we should be looking out for?
Definitely Bobby.
Okay.
85.
85.
On defense, Niall, number 0.
Okay.
Safety, Bruno. Basically all the guys. All the guys can play, all the guys can ball. So big shout out to them.
Perfect.
So nice to hear from you. We'd love to know if there's any pre-game rituals, pre-game traditions that you have.
I ain't gonna tell you that.
You won't tell, it's a secret. Oh,
It's a secret, it's a secret.
Well, hopefully, any good luck charms maybe? Anything?
Now we just come out here and play, that's it.
Just come out and play,
Yeah.
okay. It's just the talent then,
Yeah,
it's just
just
talent.
Yep.
Well, thank you so much.
Appreciate
so
it.
nice hearing from you today.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
It's a great game.
Thank you.
So we are now going to be passing on to our commentators, Milo Wakefield and James Schofield. They are ready, they are geared up and have lots to tell you about the game. So thank you and take it away, Milo and James.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Milo Wakefield. I'm here with James Schofield, and we're here excited to bring you Explosion 2025 with the Birmingham Lions taking on Oxford Brookes. James, you and I had an opportunity to play in a few of these games during our time at university. How do you think the Birmingham Lions are going to be feeling right now?
I think that combination between nervous but excited at the same time. I think me and you together have been stood out there to return the opening kickoff of a few of these games, and yeah, nervous, but you can make a big impact on the game quite early on. So yeah, no, those people that have an integral part early on, got to make plays, unfortunately.
Exactly. We've got to see the playmakers making plays early. We've heard from both coaches who they think that's going to be. I think what we're going to see in just a second is the record of both of our teams. Here it is. The Birmingham Lions last year were relegated from the Premier Division. However, as we have a look at this record, there were a lot of close games there, Phil.
Yeah, I mean, close games, they bring a lot out of the players at the end of the day. So there's a lot of first years, a lot of second years playing these games, and those guys will be third years and fourth years now. So a lot of experience, a lot of emotional baggage from last year, but as they're more experienced now, that should help them in these sorts of spots.
Exactly. I think being close in those games has meant these guys have now got an opportunity to show that they can turn some of those losses into wins in those really close situations. And coming up, we have the Birmingham Lions coming up for their run-up soon. It's always interesting to see at this point how they're feeling. We talked about the emotion. It's starting to build at this point. Interesting to see what song they've chosen. But we will see how they go with that. We're also having a look at Brookes' record here. A lot more blowouts, but we'll see how it goes for them today.
Yeah, a lot of lopsided games for them last year, getting promoted from their lower division. But hey, it means they've got talent on their side of the field. So yeah, we'll see how they play today.
Yeah, like I said, they have obviously had a really good season last year, and what they're going to do is look to keep that momentum going. And part of that momentum's this run-out. It always is. It's how do you feel ready to go out.
The song that you run out to is always a contentious topic when we were at university.
Definitely. It depends on, there's about 5 different answers, and none of them are really right by the time we get a chance to get down to the one that we want. I mean, in our opportunity, we had Rick Ross, we had Kendrick Lamar, different options. Thunderstruck at one, we had some AC/DC as well. It really does depend on the taste of the teams that are there. It does look like the lines are aligned underneath the post right now. We're about to hear what they've chosen for this year. And as we see the Brooks boys on the sideline here getting ready to go, the Lions have lined up under the posts in their brand new kits. We saw that a little bit on the VT earlier as well. They're led out by Bhavya Gandhi up the front there. Dev Patel's down the front as well. A lot of really experienced players and a lot of people that have not been part of the team for too long either. That you've got some first years, some second years in there. Bav's got some really high level experience. I think he's going to be a real factor in this game.
Yeah, he's played at a high level in Europe, part of the GB 100-man squad, so he's a real baller for sure. But there's a couple of the captains there at the front, fourth years, fifth year players. Like I said, bringing a lot of experience with them, playing at a higher level than they are right now. So yeah, they should be able to lead the team today and make some plays ultimately.
Exactly. I think that we're looking to lean on those more experienced players in these games that we think are going to be tighter this year than in previous years. We've seen some interesting results in these explosions in the last few years. My first one personally, we had a win versus Hertfordshire when they were still in the Prem. We were both still in the Prem. We've had wins versus Cardiff. There has been a loss to Swansea and Bath Kilby. So it's not all 100% record for the Birmingham Lions in explosion, but it does make a real difference. Ready to go.
Yeah, ultimately, but the crowd does help in these spots, right? It's early on in the season. There is all to play for at this point still, and such a tight division at the moment. The crowd can really help in these spots, certainly from my experience at Explosion. So yeah.
Definitely. It's a weird one, right? I don't know if you had this experience as well, but when you're on the field, yes, the crowd's always loud and you can hear them, and they do get loud in particular moments. But once you're on there, it's a bit of a lock-in, if you like. You do feel like everything outside kind of ceases to matter. It's just what's going on underneath your face cage when you're ready to make a play.
I think from a communications perspective, it's what makes the difference. We see the Oxford Brooks team are actually on the side where most of the crowd are, up on the Bonebrook bank. So communication down there for the defence, for the offence, getting players called in, makes it a lot more difficult, hopefully. And yeah, it's good to see the bank's already filling up. Quite a few hundred people there already, so yeah.
And this crowd's only going to go bigger as we get closer to kick-off. We're expecting to see lots of people out, not just for the Birmingham Lions today, but for the Tabby Cats, Buds, the Pussycats as well. And the players are looking ready and excited in their brand new kits, like we mentioned. Always nice to see the continuity. The last couple of weeks and the last couple of seasons, it's been really difficult with the kit that we've had to get them all set up in an immediate uniform, ready for them to go. And here we go. We've got the Tabby Cats coming out for their performance. Really excited to see how they do well here.
Tabby Cats.
Let these ghouls out the house. Who out there talking all that mouth? Who they came to see me? Who grab it like me? Don't make me get up out my seat. Don't make me come up off of this beat. It's the female version of a hustler. Of a hustler. It's the female version of a hustler.
Awesome job there by the Tabby Cats. Awesome job. Just before we see the Lions run out, I think it's important to comment on the relationship that the Lions will have with the Pussycats and the Tabby Cats. Long-standing relationship that sort of nurtures relationships in uni and out of uni. So, yeah, they're always out every Wednesday together, and there's some great relationships sort of between the two.
Exactly, it's always nice to see a good relationship between the two clubs, whether that be the cheerleaders and the American footballers in general. They're always, like we said, showing up for matches, especially the Tabby Cats on the home games. But now, as we hear the gongs, it does sound like the Birmingham Lions are about to run out.
I don't think you're ready.
Those gongs, obviously, a symbol of Old Joe that looms over the pitch today. We've got the Tabby Cats lining the run out for him.
I did hear a bit of intel this year that Old Joe was going to be a part of the run out song, so it's good to see her.
And here we go, ready to go. We see the Lions hyping themselves up now, led by their captains. Got the Undertaker's theme going on right now.
Yeah.
I think this is reminiscent of some other years. We're excited to see the energy that we get from the Lions as they run out here.
Our on-field commentators are doing a great job of hyping up the crowd as this is happening. The Lions are about to run out.
This is where it starts to get loud. And this is where you've got to really get focused in on the task at hand.
25.
Here we go.
New. In full.
Still going down here.
I'm
This
ready
is
to
flipped from the
go.
tumbling team from the Pussycats there. And here come the Lions. Ready to go, a nice big flag there. Here we go.
For your 2025
And there, that's the crowd getting hyped for this team. And they're going to use that energy, roll right into kickoff. And we'll see some hits on special teams. Nice and early here from the Lions. At this point, that huddle in the middle is all hype. There's nothing really going on in there that's going to be too tactical. It's making sure that everyone's ready to go, everyone's locked in, and there is no opportunity for them to let up from this point. It has to be full go from this point, right from the kickoff, right from the first whistle. They're going to line up now, and we're going to see the coin toss in just a minute to see who's going to be able to take that first kickoff.
100%. I think there's not much more that you can do strategically here. I think this is just a case of locking in, getting everyone focused on the same page in a huddle like that, making sure that you're ready to go to war ultimately with the other team on the other side of the field that you can see. So, yeah.
As I've always got a conflicting feelings about the coin toss and what you'd choose if you had the opportunity, James. If you won the coin toss in a game like this, what are the options, first of all, and what would you go for?
So ultimately, you've got the option to receive the ball first, obviously, which is great, but you also have the option to defer, they call it. So you choose what you'll get in the second half rather than the first half. That helps with, if you want the ball out of half-time in the second half, you can choose to have the ball then instead.
And that's a real potential advantage for either team because it means that you can score just before half-time, get the ball back after half-time, and look to do what they like to call a double dip in the scoring there as well.
Yeah, but I think here, in sort of a spot like this, explosion, crowd behind you, I think I'd like to have the ball first if I win the coin toss. Get some points on the board early, get ahead in the game, and sort of put the Oxford Brooks team on the back foot. Remember, they're coming up from a lower division. They're coming into sort of the Lions' house in that sense. I think if you win the field position battle and get points up on the board early, it's likely a team will fold.
I think it's an interesting decision. I personally would look to put the defense on the field here first. It's always an interesting one to be able to get a big play on special teams first, tackle them far down the end of the field on the kickoff, and then a quick 3-and-out can really keep the energy going for the Lions as well. Something that you might not have seen if you haven't watched a lot of American football before is all of the bands, all of the face, eye black we call it, a lot of bicep bands that are being worn on calves, on arms. It's a very, I don't want to say vain sport, James, but it's something that people like to look good, and that looking good does feed into them feeling good and playing good.
I think it's almost, sometimes it's a fashion show just as much as it is a game sometimes, quite cynically, but no, look good, feel good, play good, right? I think you'll see that from almost everyone on the field, but captain specifically, some of those sort of the playmakers.
It does. It is an interesting one as well. It's whether it's an intimidation tactic from some of them. Do they think that eye black makes them look a bit more intimidation? And it probably does. But then I think that a lot of these boys, as you'll see with the gents that we're going to have to see walk out for this walkout to do the coin toss with the referees, they're very much big enough in themselves to be intimidating. Ed Perry is a good 6'5", probably 110, 115 kilos. He is a large man.
Yeah, you can see him at the front there with his eye black, actually. Him and Bav sort of stood next to each other there, two of the team captains. Bav number 1, Eddie Perry number 71 there. They are sort of high-level athletes, both played in the GB Under-19 setup. Bav sort of played out in Europe, which is a super high standard of football. So, yeah, looking for those two to make plays and to win the coin toss as well.
Yep.
But, yeah.
Number 8 on the in that line of 4, you might have just seen in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. That's Owe McKenzie. Again, another one of those lads that was part of the GB Under-19 setup at one point. And again, one player that the Lions are going to look to today to make big plays on the D-line. He is an intimidating man, I will say that, when you have to line up opposite from him. But he is a large, large human being.
Yeah, speaking about the game that sort of happened last week against Hertfordshire, sort of the Lions won that in quite an emotional fashion in the last minute. Owen was the guy that sort of made the play to sort of turn the tide there. So playmakers going out for the coin toss, captains, that's generally how it works.
I will say, if I didn't mention his name, he wouldn't forgive me. It was Tom Ramsden that made that kick at the end of the game, but that kick doesn't be able to be made if it weren't for Owain on the forced fumble, as it were, and recovery for the Lions at the very end of that game. They actually won that game in quite, I want to say, interesting, in unusual fashion. It was a case where Hertfordshire really should have had the opportunity to see the game out quite easily, but the Lions took the opportunity that they did, made the kick, won the game, and they sit here 1-0. And at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter how you win them as long as you're in the win column.
I think flipping that to the other side, Oxford Brookes last week, they actually beat Oxford University, so a bit of a Derby Day rivalry game there, but a nice win for Oxford Brookes last week against one of their rivals. They've also played another game, sort of won that one as well, so they're 2-0. 2-0 heading into this game here. They are moving up, obviously, into this division, so step up for them, but still.
And now, as the captains come together, this is going to be the coin toss. As we discussed, we want to probably defer the Lions here if we win this one here. Personally, it was always tails never fails for me, James. As we can see, we have Bhavya Gandhi, we have Aaron in there at number 5, Owe McKenzie number 8, and Ed Perry number 71 for the Lions.
And on the Oxford Brookes side of thing, we only have last names for these guys, unfortunately, but at number 11, that's Bates, number 5, Abs, number 3, Marsh, and number 88, that's Owen. Not sure whether those are first names or last names, but...
It's 2 first names, it's always dangerous, isn't it? It's always difficult to tell. But here, we're going to see the coin toss, and we will hope that the Lions can win this one so that they can get their choice of whether they have the ball first, whether the offense or the defense goes on first. And as we wait for the coin toss, there it goes. It looks like the Lions have won it and have chosen to defer. Oxford Brookes will take the ball.
That means Oxford Brookes will take the ball and they'll get to decide which end that they defend first. So it looks like Oxford Brookes will receive the ball. The Lions will kick it from the side away from UB Sports facility. The right side of the field.
Wow. The pleasantries are over, and now the energy starts to rise again. At this point, we have our special teams, and people hear a lot about offense and defense. They don't hear a lot about special teams, and it is the third part of the game, which is incredibly important, James.
Well, I mean, ultimately, it won the Lions the game last week. So, yeah, there is what we call field position to be won here. Sort of if we can pin Oxford Brookes down in their own 5-10 yard line, ultimately they've got 95 yards to go to score a touchdown. So, it makes a big difference.
And what are the kind of players that we're going to look to see on this coverage team from the Lions on this kickoff here?
So from an Oxford Brookes point of view, their returners are going to be shifty, receivers, running backs, maybe guys that can make moves with the ball in their hands. Generally, your kickoff coverage team from a Lions point of view, defensive backs, linebackers, mostly defensive guys, just people that I'd say you trust. It's the risk-reward here from a Lions point of view. You can give up a touchdown on a return on a play like this. So guys that you trust, experienced guys, but also defensive guys who you know you can make a tackle.
And out come the Lions. We have number
Alright, so your Birmingham Lions will be receiving the kick
88 looking to make the kick. And that is Tom Ramsey. It's Rambo as he goes by. And it was Tom that made that kick at the end of the game last year. I won't mention the doink that preceded it because I'm sure he won't thank me for that. But a lot of experienced players as I'm looking at this team now.
From an Oxford Brookes point of view, we have number 88 back to return. That's one of the captains. We've only got his name down as Owen, and number 36, Robinson.
And here we go. Lions ready to kick off. Here we go. And the kick is a relatively flat one, but it will go over the head of number 88.
Yeah,
into
so that
the end zone, and that is a touchback.
Yeah, so that means the Oxford Brookes team will get the ball at the 20-yard line.
Big kick from the Birmingham Lions to start the game.
Through the game today, myself and James are going to be trying to speak you through some American football basics as well. We are aware that a lot of our viewers today aren't necessarily going to be au fait with all the rules. But what we do have is a first down here. From this point, Oxford Brookes have 4 opportunities to take the ball 10 yards. And once they do that, they will get a fresh set of 4 downs. Here we go, Oxford Brookes. They are in the gun, man in motion. We will spread offense. It's going to be a jet sweep to number 85. A good gain down the sideline, and it's going to be knocked out of bounds just shy of the first down, I think, there.
Yeah, that's an 8-yard pickup. It's a fairly safe play to start the drive. This is what I'd be doing if I was Oxford Brookes, to be honest. Not showing anything too much at the moment. You're in sort of another person's home ground. Just do something that will get the chains moving early on, something that will pick up a few yards on the ground. But good gang tackle by the Lions as well. Good flow. Didn't limit anything too much of a big game.
Interesting here, the Oxford Brookes are taking a little bit longer in the huddle, making sure they get everything right. We've got a bit of a heavy set going on here as they look to most likely run the ball to get the 2 yards that they need. Here we go, and it is with a lead block, but a good tackle from number 1. That's Bavir Gandhi.
Yeah, so the quarterback there, the first play we saw, he was sort of 5 yards back from where the ball was snapped, but he went under centre there, and that'll usually happen in those short yardage situations. 2 running backs in the backfield, and we'll just sort of run that ball at the middle and pick up that 1 yard we needed to sort of move those chains and get another first down.
Little bit of a break here as the referees sort out something with the chains. Back to football 101, James. Maybe the most important position on the field, the quarterback.
Yeah, 100%. He's got a lot of responsibility. He's got a lot of cerebral responsibility, but he's got obviously the physical job of throwing the ball, handing the ball off. Generally, if he does something wrong, the sort of mistake is exacerbated by points going the other way, the football going the other way kind of thing. So he's got to throw the ball to the wide receivers, the guys that line up out wide, and they catch the ball. But yeah, he's generally the guy that most knowledgeable, runs the play into the huddle, gives the play in the huddle, that kind of thing. So yeah.
He's going to be, I was going to say he's going to be the quarterback of the defense. Probably not the best way to go there. But his best friends, you mentioned there, the wide receivers, the guys that are going to be out there catching balls. We actually had a jet sweep to one of them in the first instance there from Oxford Brookes. The other guys on the offense, in terms of skill positions, as we'd call him, would be the running back. We had a couple of them there. First, the guy that made the block up front, and then the player who took the ball. This time, looks like we've got another heavy formation. We might be expecting run again. Quarterback takes the pass, and it's a little pitch, but Owen McKenzie, huge sack.
He's a guy we mentioned at the start, right, Owen? He's lining up at that defensive tackle spot, 3-tech we call it, and he just beats his man there ultimately. Trying to zone block that to the right, but yeah, Owen sort of gets off the line quickly, beats the guy zoning out to the right, and sort of tackles him in the backfield there.
And those situations really get the crowd hyped up, right? A big tackle for loss from Owen McKenzie there. A tackle for loss rather than the sack because it wasn't the quarterback who had the ball. They line up with 4 wide here, Oxford Brookes. Quarterback ready to take sack. Big ball in the air. Oh, incomplete for number 85. That is Kadari. Couldn't quite connect there, could the quarterback. Yeah. And it brings up 3rd and long for Oxford Brookes.
Trying to hit that seam down the middle of the field there, but sort of the corner dropped off from his spot to be able to come and break that up, and equally he was bracketed underneath by one of the outside linebackers. So trying to fit that into a tight spot. Sort of they were in sort of second and 13, second and 14, so you're going to throw the ball there. But yeah.
Okay. Third and long, James. We're expecting pass here. We see trips to the right-hand side. That means you've got 3 wide receivers over to this side with the running back there as well. It's going to be a quick out, and that is a catch and a gain of about 7 or 8, but it's not going to be enough for the first down. Here we're looking to see the punt unit come out for Oxford Brooks.
Yeah, as the Lions, you'll take that, right? You know that you sort of play everyone further off the line, maybe some sort of cover 4, cover 3, sort of playing zone coverage, let them catch it underneath and rally to make the tackle to make sure they don't get the first down.
So again, a little bit for a Football 101 again to score. Oxford Brooks would have been looking to make that connection and drive down the field, getting first downs if they need to, and get themselves into the end zone. So the end zone is the very end of the field, outlined this time by nice orange pylons. What we are going to have here is a punt, though. And we talked a little bit about special teams and the importance of them. The Birmingham Lions have historically been quite good on special teams. We've got 2 back to receive the punt here, James. Not necessarily something you always see, but looking to cover most areas on the return potentially there.
Yeah, I think you've got really 2 options here. One thing, you can sort of send everyone up to the line, try and block the punt before the kicker can even kick it, punter can even punt it. Or you can try and set up a return. 2 guys down, back deep, generally means they're trying to sort of get some yards on the return.
Got number 10 back there. It's a little bit of a high snap, but he did well to field it. The Birmingham Lions are going to pick it up, and we're going to look to take it out. That's a big block on the right-hand side there, but Oxford Brooks do well to swallow up the run. I think it was number 10. That would be Angus Webber.
All right, your Birmingham offense heading onto the field.
Now we get our first opportunity to see the Birmingham Lions offense. It's going to be led out here by James Gavin. He's the quarterback for the Birmingham Lions. And having a bit of a look at our positional groups, one of the big things that is massive for University Sport is actually getting lads big enough to play on our O-line. But it looks like the Lions have done a great job of recruitment of some big boys up front to play alongside Ollie Jones and Ed Perry. Here we go. We've got 2 in the backfield for the Lions and a bunch out to the left. We're going to see motion from number 9 and a run up the middle. Here we go. And a big gain for number 21. And that is Femi Nafemi, who's done an awesome job up the middle there.
I think that's just a great job from the offensive line. Like you just mentioned, we had a gap that we wanted to run through, got a gap scheme run, blocked away from it on the left and the right, and then had someone pull into it, and it was a huge hole for the running back to go through there.
And that is going to be a clear first down for the Birmingham offense. And this time we are going to see a tight end set by look for the Lions. We've got that motion again from number 9. And another run up the middle. Really good patience from the running back there. And we look for about a 5-yard gain. That was Femi again. He did a really good work there from him again.
Again, it's another one of those gap scheme runs. We had number 18 sort of pulling, line up in that sort of wing tight end slot, pulling behind the line of scrimmage into where the gap is that we want to run into. And the running back picks up 5 or 6 yards.
So here we are, 2nd and about 5 now for the Birmingham Lions. And we just need 5 more yards for that first down. Here we go. We see that same formation again. We get motion from number 9, and that is Jamie. Oh, fumble there. The referees have blown the play dead. It looked like a pitch forward, which means that it's an incomplete pass rather than a fumble.
Yeah, so if the quarterback would have handed the ball to him there, rather than just doing a little pitch forward to him, that would have been a fumble. But because he did a little pitch forward there, it's just an incomplete pass.
And that really is key for the Birmingham Lions there. It means that they don't have to give the ball up there. So it is a real key one there. Well, here we are. Because it was an incomplete pass, they start back where they were, and it is 3rd and 5. All options on the table here for the Lions, and it is a quick pass, but because the player is down there, it's exactly where they will stay. It looks like the Birmingham Lions will bring out their punt unit as well.
All right, that's a 3 and out from the Birmingham Lions. So
the special teams unit coming out onto the field here, the punter and the team that will sort of go down to cover the punt. Oxford Brooks equally matching that. Number 88 going deep to return there. They've only got 1 returner rather than 2, so got more players up at the line trying to block the punt, Oxford Brooks do. which means generally as a punt unit, you're going to have to bring more guys into the middle to account for the people down on the line of scrimmage.
We've got Jono Armstrong back here, ready to punt the ball away, looking to line up at about 12 to 15 yards. It's a slow, long snap, but just enough for him to get away. It's not the best punt in the world, and it takes a Oxford Brooks bounce. It does mean that the Lions will come back out on defense at around the Oxford Brooks 39.
Yeah, you'd have been looking for a better punt there, really. Sort of an average punt going 30 to 40 yards, hopefully, but that's sort of 15 yards, 10, 15 yards there. So field position-wise, not great for the Lions. Oxford Brooks starting their drive around midfield. So obviously a lot less to go to sort of get into the end zone.
Yeah, we'll notice that in the first drive, Oxford Brooks started right back at their 20 here. They've given them an extra 20 yards. Another heavy formation for Oxford Brooks, and it is a pitch to 85. That is not going to work. And they swarmed by the defense, still on his feet, doing a great job, but not quite able to get back to the line of scrimmage. He's going to be taken out of bounds about 4 yards behind the original line of scrimmage.
Again, it's that another jet sweep to that up back tight end that Owain blew up on the last drive, and the other defensive tackle blew that up this time, but took 4 or 5 guys to sort of get him out of bounds, but still it's a 5-6 yard loss. You're looking at 2nd and 15 now. Another obvious passing situation, which is great for the Lions. You can sort of let your defensive lineman tee off and pass rush, and you can just play sort of soft zone coverage on the back end.
Justin Lester, the head coach, earlier today was talking a little bit about how the Lions are going to be integral in this, and we can definitely see that coming to fruition for the Lions here. We've got 4 down linemen for the Lions here, and it's a quick swing pass out to number 3, shakes off 1 tackle, but 41 there to make a massive hit. And that's Alistair Wilson doing a great job taking down number 3.
I think this is sort of what you want to be doing as Oxford Brooks, in all fairness. Them sort of low-risk plays, those swing screens out to receivers, running plays that sort of low-risk reward early on in the game. You don't want to get behind the sticks massively. You don't want to be sort of throwing interceptions because you're throwing balls 30 yards down the field at this point. The game's 0-0. Yeah,
I will
the feeling out process.
Also mention on that play, Sean did a really good job. He's our president, coming off of the edge of the D-line, helping make that tackle. Here we go. Oxford Brooks go to the air. Looks like, oh, he's out of bounds there. Incomplete pass. A really good coverage from number 26 there. That is Ezekiel. He's done a really good job in coverage there.
I think the pass rush again there, that we had a defensive lineman sort of in the quarterback's face as he was throwing the ball. Which obviously makes that much more difficult. That's probably why that pass sailed out of bounds, and so the receiver didn't really have a chance to catch that inbounds there.
So we are back in the position again. This is going to be our favourite thing to do, I think, today, is a punt from Oxford Brooks. A quick 3 and out from the Lions, really good from their point of view. Oxford couldn't get to more than -4 from the original line of scrimmage. It is a high kick this time. Looked for, it's an issue for the Lions there as we muff the punt. He called for the fair catch. There is no flag from the referees as of yet. It could be called as fair catch interference.
Yeah, so when a returner waves his hand in the air, it means he signaled for a fair catch, essentially saying, I don't want anyone to hit me. But what I would say that was a very, very late signal. So I don't know if the referees are going to give it to him that he did it early enough. It was right before the ball was on him, kind of thing. So be interesting to see what they decide here. Yeah, they put the flag down.
Flag has been thrown on the play there. A flag, again, for the uninitiated, is a penalty or some kind of infringement from one of the teams. The referee will then explain, and what he's doing now is showing that it is, I believe, fair catch interference from Oxford Brooks. No, not necessarily. Just waiting for a clearer signal from the referees here, see where they spot the ball and for whom. Here we go. It's going to be Lions offense. It is the Lions ball. And it does look like they're going to have the ball, a first down, and we're going to wait to see where they spot that ball. I do think they're going to pick up some penalty yardage, Oxford Brooks, due to that fair catch interference. It looks like the Lions are going to have the ball at about the 41.
Great place to start the drive here, midfield. You've obviously had some running plays sort of on the last drive that work, some gap scheme runs. Stick to that, stay ahead of the chains, and don't get into situations where, like those 3rd and 15s, where you struggle to pick up first downs.
Gather back again with Crump in the backfield. Number 21 takes the ball again, and he's looking to follow the block of Crump. That's a really nice block from Ed Perry on the backside there, nice pancake. But it's going to be a run for no gain for the Lions there.
Yeah, so this is what we talked about earlier in the game. You don't want to get into these situations when you're in second and long, third and long.
Second down here for Birmingham.
Not that Gavin can't throw the ball, or we don't want him to, but yeah, it's just better to stay ahead of the chains at this point in the game.
As it always is. That was a really good play there by Niall Ashworth, a veteran. And when I say veteran, I mean that in the true sense of the word, player on that team. He's been with them for a long time. I believe he's doing a PhD now. But he is a real key player for them. And we have another run from the Birmingham Lions here. A huge hole. A first down and more. Down to the 28-yard line of Oxford Brookes. And that is another awesome play by number 21. Femi has done another really good job there. And he's just following his blocks, James.
He is. That run was designed to go to the right. He sort of cut off the left guard's sort of backside. And obviously the backside end was unblocked, but he sort of didn't close down, didn't condense down, and so there was a massive hole off that left guard's sort of backside. And yeah, as the run was designed to go right, most of the defense is flowing right. So all green grass for him.
Not to put the commentator's curse on him too early, but a clean game from the O-line so far. Not a lot of holds, a lot of good running plays. And here we see it again, 2 in the backfield for the Lions, 2 out wide. Another run play to Femi, and he'll take it for a modest gain, another 2. That'll do for the Lions.
What this is starting to do now, you'll have seen it on that last play, sort of linebackers coming down to the line of scrimmage, then running blitzes, which is where the linebackers have no pass game responsibility. They're just coming down to try and stop the run. So this is bringing more guys into the box from a defensive point of view, which will open that pass game. You want to run the ball to be able to pass it later on in the game.
Run the down ball, as they say. Lions do look like they're keeping with that mantra as it goes. The Lions currently about second and about 4. I gave a bit more than I gave him credit for previously. Gavin in the gun again, gives it to Fem. Oh no, Gavin looks to pass. Sails slightly over the head of number 18, and that is Johan Crump.
This is all down to Nathan Lester, the offensive coordinator for the Lions. Maybe small in stature, all 5'7" of him, but he's got a large offensive brain in that sense. He called play action there. He's finally seen that those Oxford Brookes linebackers are coming down to the line of scrimmage. They're bringing more blitzes, more guys coming through the line of scrimmage. So he's ran that play action, sort of a deeper out route to 18, who's attached to the line of scrimmage. Just couldn't quite connect.
I'd argue that's nothing to do with the play call there. The play call's done, rather the miss is nothing to do with the play call. It's just the connection between Gavin and Crump there. Veteran players, both of them in their own right, so you'd hope that they get onto that a little bit quicker. Referees, I've seen something they don't like here, and will stop the game briefly as we wait for a signal. But to give you a little bit of a chat about why the referees, and there are so many of them. Okay.
Timeout called here.
So that is the first timeout for the Birmingham Lions as they look to make the most of this red zone possession right now. Like I said, the referees today, there is a big group of them. I'll give them a quick shout out. The head referee is going to be Keith Wickham, the umpire Darren Urban, head linesman Kenneth Glover, line judges Henry Young, the back judge Henry Richardson, field judge Ian Rogers, side judge Ali May, and centre judge Kieran Smith. There is a lot of them on the field today, and that's because there's just so much going on in American football at all times. They've all got different responsibilities and different reasons exactly what they're looking at. As you won't be able to see him on your screen right now, but the gent in your white cap is the head referee. Lions, like we said, 2nd and 5. Oh, looks like a bit of confusion. It looked like a fumble, if I'm honest there, but his hand might have been going forward. We'll have to wait for the referee's decision here.
This is an exact reason why there's so many referees. They're going to call that a fumble, so yeah, there's a bit of, it could have been an incomplete pass, could have been a fumble. It's whether his arm was coming forward as if he was trying to throw the ball, in which case it would have been an incomplete pass, or it was truly him fumbling it, dropping it in that sense. So they've called it a fumble. Brookes now have the ball, so that's a turnover.
That is a fumble recovery from number 5 for Brookes, and that is Abs. He's done a great job falling on the ball there, securing it, because that's always a danger. And now Oxford Brookes back on offense. A quick out there, but we have a DB come down to make the tackle. And number 4, and that's going to be Owen El-Hawari. A really good play to be able to secure that tackle there.
Yeah, it's the first real sort of pass play we've seen completed. It's a flat out to the receiver with sort of the corner coming down from his responsibility. Could have been in cover 2, could have been sort of that cover 4 where he's just come down from a deep zone and no one's come over to his area of the field. Come down, made the tackle. Sort of a 5-6 yard game. It's 2nd and 4 now.
2nd and 4, another modest gain for Oxford Brookes. We're looking at a spread offense here, which means all their receivers are spread out. Quarterback takes a snap. And it's another quick out, but it looks incomplete there. A really nice hit from Toga, doing a good job in coverage from the linebacker position to get out to that quick out.
Yeah, it's just not quite on him from a passing point of view. Not quite in stride. It's a bit behind him. It's a tough grab to make that, especially with defenders in and around the area. Yeah, just not quite connecting on the passing game for both teams, really.
I'll correct myself there. That looked like Toga's playing safety in a deep 2 with Kobe. We've got number 6 being Ted, playing on the left-hand side, close to your screen. But as we go back to the air with Oxford Brookes, they take another short reception, looking to get themselves past the sticks. And it looks like they might just have done it as the Lions come in to make the tackle together.
Yeah, I think obviously Brookes have thrown a few sort of deeper passes that have been on the side of danger, but these sort of underneath throws, hitches, sort of like 5 yards forward and receivers just turn around and stop. These flat routes where it's just one step forward and you run to the outside of the field. Those types of routes are the routes that they need to throw and complete at a high percentage.
You and I had a real opportunity to see a lot of this year, and those quick outs can be really effective for a team. You certainly ran a few of them, as I understand, and caught a few of them. But it looks like we're going to the end of the first quarter here, which I believe brings us into a performance from Buds, which is going to be really exciting. We saw a little bit about them in our pre-match coverage. But for the first quarter, James, what do we think? Anything particularly that we can take from that first quarter?
No, I think it's a very standard cagey opening first quarter for a football game, especially of Explosion's calibre. Teams don't really want to put too much out there early on, don't be throwing 30, 40-yard balls down the field. A lot of running the ball, fast-moving quarter. So, yeah, no score, but bit of a feeling out process, I'd say. So, yeah.
Like I said, it was a fast-moving quarter, not just for any particular reason, but because they ran the ball a lot. When the ball does not go out of play, that being out of bounds, or there is an incomplete pass, the clock will keep running. And they play 12-minute quarters, I believe, in the Bucks League.
Yeah, that's correct.
That is, if the ball goes out of play or is dropped on an incomplete pass, that clock will stop, which will lead to longer games and longer quarters in general. Both Oxford Brookes and Birmingham ran generally more than they passed in that quarter, so we do see a shorter quarter, as it were. As I mentioned, I think the next up as part of this break in play, we're going to see the Buds come out. That is the Birmingham University Dance Society, another key member that have been part of Explosion for a very long time. Certainly when I was playing and when you were playing, they were usually in one of these quarter breaks. They did a really good job all the time. And honestly, people come out to watch American football, but a lot of people do come out to watch the dancers, to watch the cheerleaders, feed off the whole experience, as well as it being the American football that here is the draw.
Yeah, listen, it's a real community event from like from a perspective of we've got a cheerleading team, we've got a dance society, we've got the American football going on. But equally in years past, there's been fireworks, there's been sort of flame cannons even at one point. It's a real event more so than just an American football game. So, yeah.
It brings the people out, doesn't it? It gets the people excited, it gets them going. Yeah, Birmingham University Dance Society just warming up and getting ready to come out now. If you had to pick your favourite halftime pre-game act from an Explosion's past, I certainly have mine, and I think it might be the same as yours. What would you go for?
It is 100% Battle Sock, we call them.
Battle Sock. Battle Sock is a society at the University of Birmingham that essentially does battle recreations. So you'll see lads running around with spears in full chainmail. It's certainly a sight to behold. A couple of years ago, we had them pre-game. We've had them at in one of the quarter breaks previously as well. And it genuinely has to be seen to be believed. So if you're at the University of Birmingham, quick shout out to the Bat Sox, see if you can get down, see what they're about. But for now, the one that we're going to be focusing on is the Birmingham University Dance Society. Again, that is Buds ready to come out and give us a great performance. Just warming up in the sideline, waiting for the go-ahead, ready to run out onto the field and see what they're going to go for today.
It's absolutely not a society that I could be a part of, unfortunately. But equally impressive in their own right. Probably more impressive than anything that I was doing while I was on the field. Explosion, but yeah.
It does depend. It does depend. It depends how many drinks we've got in James before we see those dance moves come out. But we'll see if what song they're going to come out to and what song that song obviously that the Lions and Brooks run out to is always interesting. But to see what the performances actually are performed to is always an interesting one. It can give the crowd an extra boost as well, depending on the kind of songs that they go for. We've seen hip-hop dance in the past. We've seen more jazzy style dances in the past. It's always a mixture, a bit of a meld. They'll have had something specially prepared for themselves, I'm sure. And it looks like the referees are getting ready to let them on the field now. Okay, responding to the chat, as I think we've got some questions quickly. I was here personally from 2019 to 2022.
Yeah, I was 2021 to 2022 on a master's degree.
He's a master, don't you know? Interesting. I think we're excited now to see the Buds come out.
Here we go.
And here we go.
On the field right now, ready for their end of first quarter performance.
They don't love you like I love you. Slow down, they don't love you like I love you. Back up, they don't love you like I love you. Step down, they don't love you like I love you. It's such a shame you let this good love go to waste. I always keep the top tip, 5-star, sexy loving in the car, like make that wood, holly like a boulevard.
What a performance. Give it up for
Music
Bud.
as well. We had some Rihanna in there, some Beyonce in there. Your kind of music, James?
I wish I could say yes, but unfortunately not. But it doesn't take anything away from the performance. That was amazing.
Another. We're Beyonce fans, obviously. I would be remiss to say anything bad about Beyonce. I think that's probably not a good idea. But here we're getting ready again for the Birmingham Lions defense to take the field. We've got Owain, we've got Sean on the D-line ready to go. Oh, looks like they've gone a little bit before the Lions are ready there, but that's just the Lions' fault. We see a pickup again on the jet sweep of around 4 or 5 yards by the looks of things.
Yeah.
And they have come quick out of the break there.
Yeah, it's the same play every time of sort of this jet sweep to one of the up tight ends / up backs attached to the end of the line. Lions are stopping it well so far, stringing it out to the wide side. That was the short side of the field. But yeah.
I think the thing there is, as we've played in series offenses before, series offenses being those that do a similar kind of thing a lot, we know it's setting something up for Oxford Brookes, right? And here they go. Another short pass, this time to number 11. We've got to get there as tacklers and make our tackles, and they do, but after a very good gain for Oxford Brookes. Number 11, that is Bates. He's done a really good job there on the run after catch.
It's another one of those short completions, one of those hitches, sort of 5 yards and stop and turn around, sort of from a receiver who's split out wide to the side of the field.
Fresh set of downs for the Brookes offense.
And here we go, another first down for Brookes. As we said, that first quarter went quite quickly. If we see more passes from Oxford Brookes, we could see a slightly longer one and potentially some scores quite quickly into this second half. They've done well so far. We've got a spread formation with one sending the ball out, but this time out of bounds, out of the reach of his receiver. Number 35 doing a good job coming down, ready to make that tackle if needed.
Yeah, generally when we're throwing a lot of passes sort of short and to the wide side of the field, that means we're trusting that the outside linebacker, number 35 there for Lions, can't get out there in time to stop that. So those sort of 5 yard outs from the slot receivers and the hitches from the sort of the wide receiver, just trusting that 35 can't get there because we know number 5, the corner's going to be dropping off.
And he's already lined up quite deep. You can see the receivers, the DBs, the corners as they are, line up quite wide. Owain McKenzie's been palmed off there, but 85's running backwards. That is not what you want to be doing. That is a block in the back if there ever was one, and the flag has been thrown. Regardless, that is going to be a real issue for Oxford Brookes here.
A lot of laundry on the field, 4 or 5 flags. It's going to be a penalty in Oxford Brookes, probably for a block in the back. When you're blocking people, you're not allowed to block them in their back. Interesting to see whether they accept this penalty or decline it, as they're going to lose a down anyway if they decline the penalty, and they've gone backwards 7 or 8 yards anyway. So, yeah, interesting to see what they do.
Interesting to see what they do here, because that was quite a way back they ended up taking him from the line of scrimmage. I imagine the Lions will take the penalty here, depending on the decision. So, 2 options here for the Birmingham Lions. They can accept the penalty, which will walk the Oxford Brookes offense back 10 yards, or they can decline the penalty and pick up, Oxford Brookes will be starting where the tackle was made. You're going to see block in the back from Oxford Brookes. It's going to be second down, and the ball's coming right back.
Yeah, they've accepted the penalty, so that's still going to be second down. It's going to be second and super long, but yeah.
And I can tell you, the crowd getting involved by our commentators pitch side are doing a really good job keeping the crowd involved in this. Big shouts of defense, and the energy has just taken another notch up. We're now seeing Oxford Brookes in a wide formation, a split wide spread formation, looking to the air again because they need to. We hit the man in the flat again, but this time the tackle's made by number 5. A great play from Aaron Fudgel, a second-year player who had a really good year in his rookie season, played great on special teams, but has taken a step up this year.
It's another reason why you can't be so far behind the chains. They're in second and sort of 25 there. It's a good completion for sort of 10 yards, but it's still 3rd and 15 now. It's still sort of an insurmountable sort of gain you need to get the first down here. So all the Lions have got to do, sit deep, play sort of soft zone coverage, let the defensive linemen pin their ears back and get to the QB.
Come from second and long to 3rd, and a short taxi here for Oxford Brookes. ready to go, and it is that similar kind of situation here, but this time, instead of stopping at 5 yards, they've stopped and then gone again. They call that a hitch and go. It is a classic play, especially when they've been hitting those 5-yard hitches so successfully so far.
Yeah, again, a hitch and go, sort of do what you've been doing essentially for the last 5 or 6 times, fake doing that thing, but ball's got to be in play, unfortunately, for him to make the catch.
And here we go. Another situation when we have 2 back for the Birmingham Lions on a punt return. Snap coming from Oxford Brooks with the punter lined up. He's taken it in. Lions really close there. The kick is high, but not particularly far. Lions want to move away from this ball here. And they have done. If they touch the ball in that situation, as it were,
yeah, so
they would be liable for Oxford Brooks to pick up the ball, and they would take possession over from that situation.
one of the key sort of responsibilities that I've had in my sort of years of playing is punt return. I've been a punt returner, so you want to punts that are short and high like that, just stay away from them. If you touch it and you muff it or anything like that, you're sort of giving them a chance to have the ball back. So you got good field position anyway. The punt's gone 10 yards. Just leave it. Don't put yourself in that position.
Birmingham Lions offense retake the field. We've got Leo Beckman on this side of the field, number 3. A explosive playmaker, if ever there was one. Number 21 back in the backfield again, and he does take the ball again, and it is another good run. We can never be angry at a 5-yard gain on a run up the middle, James.
No, 100%. It's that gap scheme, sort of inserting the wing back, the tight end, into a gap somewhere in the offensive line, following him, just sort of slamming it up in there for 4 or 5 yards every time. If you do that, that's fine.
So, another big thing in an offense like this, and I know something that Nathan Less is going to be shouting at his receivers about, is definitely going to be blocking it as a receiver. It was something you excelled at, I may say so myself. And we were going to see a little bit of that from Leo Beckman, I'm sure here. He's come out to his but another broken tackle from 21, and that is going to result in a very short third down for the Birmingham Lions, I believe.
Yeah, this is why you run the ball in this way, to get to these third and short situations where you've got the whole playbook at your disposal. You could just run the ball again if you wanted. Equally, the defense know that they can't give up 1 yard or if it's a first down, so they've got to kind of crowd the line of scrimmage, bring linebackers down, which again just leaves those deeper passes.
As you explained there, I think what we're going to see from Oxford Brooks, we can see 7 in the box there, ready to make a tackle on the running back. But that does leave them exposed for the one-on-one wins that the Birmingham Lions could have. It does it like a run, and it is a run. A really good tackle from number 44 for Oxford Brooks, and that would be DeSena. But it looks like the Birmingham Lions have managed to pick up the first down. Number 72 rather for the Lions, a little bit ginger to get up. And that is Jamal Sahid. But the first down is always going to be celebrated by the crowd, and the energy is good yet again.
Got an injury on the field.
As we kind of said, the got field side commentators here doing our job, but down on the field, and they're doing a good job of sort of keeping the crowd engaged, getting everyone hyped, and yeah, just waiting on an injury at the moment, I think.
It does look like it's a knee injury maybe to number 72 for the Birmingham Lions. Like I mentioned, it's Jamal Said. We do have depth for the Lions at the O-line position, but it's never something you want to see from a player point of view. Everyone doing the respectful thing here and taking a knee. Just while we allow our medical staff to see to Jamal, make sure he's okay. It looks like he's getting up and off the field now, which is always good to see. Just a quick one from BAFRA. So all of today's officials are members of the British American Football Referees Association, that being BAFRA. For more information about becoming an American football referee, visit the BAFRA website at www.bafra, that's BAFRA.info. There's always referees needed in this country. They allow us to play the game. But onto the more exciting bit, James. The Lions are back out on offense. Gavin takes a snap, and this time it is a pass to Leo. Does a great job of hauling that in for a 5-yard gain, and that's what Oxford Brooks have been doing really well. Lions looking to have their share of it as well now.
Yeah, there's a little bit different technique on the outside and something in the secondary of each team. The Lions are playing sort of cover 3, so their cornerbacks are playing a bit more further off, allowing those sort of underneath passes. think sort of the Oxford Brooks are in more man coverage on the outside, so tighter sort of responsibilities. You want to be closer to the guy because you've got to follow him around as man-to-man rather than playing in a zone, so tougher to complete those hitches, but I mean, we got it done there.
It is something that Nathan Lester pointed out to us that we did particularly well versus Hertfordshire last week in those one-on-one man battles. But again, it looks like we've got that motion from number 8, and it's Dev now on the running back, number 25, his first run of the game, and he's taken it for a first down. Honestly, for me, it was really great to see Dev make a great play there. He was a first year last year. Small but mighty indeed, as our colleagues down on the sideline have mentioned for him there. He's taken a real step by all accounts. I've had a chat with a couple of players, and it's really difficult to make that step from first year to second year, take on the responsibility from the guys that have gone and have graduated. But Dev's made a really good jump this year by the looks of things, and so has Femi as well. So the running back position looks to be in safe hands for the Birmingham Lions. We haven't even seen who might be described as their star running back today, but that'll be one for later. Here we see number 88 in the backfield, and that is going to be Tom Ramsden. He's going to look for the insert on the run there, but Dev's going to be swallowed up this time, back around the line of scrimmage. No gain for the Lions on that one.
I don't think that run was supposed to be bounced outside like it was. Milo mentioned Tom Ramsden there in the backfield. He sort of inserted sort of in the B gap on the left side. Probably should have followed him up inside there. But Dev, the play before, sort of had success running sort of outside the big pickup that he had a minute ago, so probably just trying to replicate that, but wasn't quite there this time.
Danger, isn't it? And we talk about the lack of experience from Dev. That is probably one of those things. I play a little bit of running back and done so with not a lot of experience, and it is difficult when you see those options there for you to not take them. Here, Lions working behind the chains, probably about 3 or 4 yards behind their original line of scrimmage. And we're going to see a third and about 10. We'd expect Gav to go to the air here.
Yeah, this is probably the first real, obvious passing situation the Lions have been in. Sort of 3rd and 11, 3rd and 12 here. They've not really thrown the ball down the field yet. Thrown some balls into the flats, sort of underneath, but it's the first time Gav's really going to have to, if he wants to pick up the first down without a receiver running for it, yeah, he's going to have to sort of throw this past the sticks here.
And here we go. 3rd down and about 12 for the Birmingham Lions. Gav lines up with Dev behind him, 4 out wide, and it's going to be a deeper pass. We're going to put it in the hands of the receiver, who lays a bit of a hit stick on that defender there, but it's not enough for the first down. Lions are going to have a decision to make here.
Yeah, decision to make here. It's 4th down, so if you don't pick up the first down on this one, you're turning the ball over to the other team. But equally, you're probably a bit too far for a field goal. You don't really want to punt it when you're at the opponent's 30, 35-yard line. So it looks like the offense is staying out on the field. Gavin's in the huddle with the team now.
Gav back on the field. So we're looking for a 4th down conversion. This is the highest stake. This is high stakes for the Birmingham Lions here. They lose the ball here, and it goes straight back to Oxford Brooks. We've gone empty formation. So, oh no, sorry, there is one running back there. He's a little bit further back than I expect him to be. Short motion from him there, and Dev's got the ball run up the middle, and it's a first down. Excellent running from Dev, and might I say, excellent work from the O-line on the inside there as well.
I think you've said this a few times already, the O-line, you've got to trust them on 4th and 3, 4th and 2. The whole world knows that you're probably going to run the ball. Passing the ball's a bit risky there, so that is just will on will, man on man. And the Lions
that
offensive line
replay
getting it
there
done.
shows a great block from Eddie on number 10. Some great work from Tom Ramsden in the middle there as well on the insert. Hey, if you've got receivers that can block as well as catch, those are the guys you want on your team. Here we go. We've got Gavin with 2 in the backfield this time. We've got that short motion again from number 9, and this time it's jet sweep. Jamie's going to look to use the hand to fend off the defender. That isn't going to be an Oxford ball. Jamie must shed down by contact there behind the line of scrimmage, but that's something the Lions have done very well. Oxford Brits done it just as well there as well.
Yeah, these jet sweeps, sort of getting out sort of into the flats quickly, whether that is on that jet sweep or passing the ball into the flats. Sort of not high risk, but it's tough to complete those at a high clip. So yeah,
here we go.
As long as a defensive team is sort of flowing well, it's tough to get those sort of outside runs going.
Lions back out for 2nd and about 12 here off the back of that 4th down conversion. Gav's going to look to the air, and it's a deeper pass. but Leo in the area, but maybe should have kept running for that one. Depends on the connection between the receiver and the receiver. The receiver and the quarterback there. A little bit off on that time there.
Yeah, I think short side of the field, you've got one receiver on the backside there, but you've got equally got a safety shaded over to that side. So that's a tough throw to make. He's bracketed almost, so dangerous pass there, I'd say.
And here we go. So we've just hit the 2-minute warning for the uninitiated. That means there are 2 minutes left in this half. This is where the Lions are going to look to double dip, as we said earlier in the game. They want to score here, keep Oxford Brookes out, maybe run down the clock a little bit, but not really an option at this point. But we're looking for a pass downfield here to get the first down. This is 3rd down and quite long. Gav, throws up a bit of a prayer. Jamie in the area, but not quite able to connect from that corner ball there.
Yeah, sort of behind the sticks again. Unusual at this point in sort of a game for it to be 0-0 just going into half-time. Defensive battle, like I said, that kind of feeling out process should be over at this point, really. You kind of want to unload a little bit when it comes to the playbook and sort of bust out some stuff you'd been saving, but yeah, unusual for it to be 0-0 at this point in time.
Definitely unusual, but not unheard of as well, especially this being the Lions' 2nd game of the year. I will say that the Oxford Brookes team have played well on defence, as have the Lions. It's a bit of a euphemism to say defensive battle. We don't want to say boring, because actually it definitely hasn't been boring. We've seen some great hits, we've seen some great plays on the defensive side of the ball. What I do want to see now is a bit more of the offense firing for both teams, really. That is going to be a delayed game penalty on Gav, if I'm not mistaken. We've got a flag on the field. The Lions are going to be marched back 5 because they took too long there getting their play off before they actually snapped the ball. So they've got 30 seconds to do that. That was 4th down. They were going to give it a go, but it's now a little bit too far out, so it looks like we're going to punt.
Yeah, I think what the team was doing there, really, they were always going to take the delay of game because it was 4th and sort of long, but they just wanted to see if they get Oxford Brookes to commit a penalty themselves. But they didn't, and they're fine moving back 5 yards because they know their punter can kind of pin them deep from anywhere around this area.
This is a crucial period of the game here, James. The punt has to be good and the coverage has to be excellent. I expect to see Aaron down there. Oh, it's just a high punt, not particularly far. And that has gone out at around the 25-yard line for Oxford Brookes. They're going to have a decent way to go here to try and score before the half. But it's definitely doable. They've got the time.
Yeah, we obviously spoke already about the clock moving because we've been running the ball quite a lot, both teams. Can't really do that anymore. There's less than 2 minutes left. 75 yards to go on this 100-yard field here at Bonebrook. Yeah, it's got to go to the air here. Got to pick up some big chunks.
And this is what they'll look to do. They'll go to the air quickly. It's what we've seen so far. It's the quick out, and number 3 catches the ball for Oxford Brookes. That is Marsh. He's done a good job on the catch and run there. Excuse me. But Oxford Brookes getting up to the 40-yard line, just shy of the 40-yard line for Oxford Brookes. It is enough for a first down. Again, rallying to the ball, that's all that Birmingham really need to do at this point. We don't need to be too aggressive on and they're going to let him do it again. Number 11 with a short pickup up to around halfway.
Yeah, he's managed to get out of bounds there as well. That stops the clock. That's good for Oxford Brookes. If you're fine picking up 5 yards at a pop here, as long as you're getting out of bounds, the clock's not rolling. Methodically get down the field, stopping the clock along the way.
It'll be interesting to see later in the game if Birmingham defence tries to be a little bit more aggressive into the flats here. Obviously, we've seen a lot of Oxford Brookes passes completed by want into those flat situations. And there they go again. But a big hit from Aaron, number 5. An excellent play there. And that's exactly what I was talking about.
I think that's exactly what you were saying. Number 5, he has deep responsibility. He's got a deep third there. But he's seen so many passes be completed in the flat in front of him. There comes a point where you almost have to abandon your responsibility. If you know there's no one deep going running behind you, come down, deliver a hit.
5-yard pickup for Oxford Brookes there. Not quite getting the first down. It's 2nd and 5, and they're going to go that way again. Oh, it's an excellent catch and pass. Number 11 over the top of Aaron there, and it's a touchdown for Oxford Brookes.
I think that's commentator's curse, really. Like I just said, he's got deep responsibility and he's seen so many passes completed in front of him in the flats. And they ran another sort of one route into the flat, one route deep behind him, and sort of got excited after the last hit he made, and yeah, someone's just got in behind him. Still great catch by the receiver, high pointed the ball well, but yeah, that's what they've been kind of threatening to do all game with kind of how they've been running their passing game.
Look, those things happen. I think that Oxford Brookes have done a really good job to take nothing away from their play there. It looks like they're going to go for 2. So instead of going, you can kick a point for 1 or go for 2 here. And actually, it's blocked by the Birmingham Lions. There looks like there is a flag on the field as well, though. 94 is enjoying himself. Got to be careful not to be flagged there. We'll wait for the flag and exactly what it was for. So we can tell you what we're expecting from the defense there. This flag, it will either be offside on the defense, which will take Oxford Brookes a little bit closer, or a full start on the offense. It looks like it's going to be offside on the defense. So Oxford Brookes will start with the ball at around the 1 yard line now this time. We might expect a run here, but they have been going to the air more often than not. And especially in those short yardage situations like this, you might expect them to try and hit that out route or one of those hitches again.
Yeah, in terms of short yardage running, they've not really been too successful. They've been running those jet sweeps, but they've actually been losing yards on them, sort of passes to the flats where they've been picking up those safe yards. So be interested to see what they call here from an offensive point of perspective.
For me, split out wide, maybe looking to spread the linebackers out. It looks like the Lions have gone into a man coverage shell here. And it's going to be a quarterback run. One wants it. And he's going to get swallowed up by number 1. That's Bavia Gandhi. It's exactly what he does.
Yeah, I think that's actually a good call down the line there. You've got, obviously, helmets on helmets, hats on hats in the box. And the one person that probably isn't accounted for is the quarterback. That's why he kept it. But just great flow, great recognition by the linebackers. Probably one of the strong suits of the Lions team. So Bav recognised it, saw the quarterback, pulled it, and yeah, made the tackle in the backfield.
So after the touchdown from 1 to Bates, Oxford Brookes lead by 6. We're in the 2-minute warning, so there's not going to be a lot of time left. Lions looking to see if we can get a good return on this situation. And then, again, we talked about that double dip, but the deferral in the first half does mean that they do get the ball out in the second. So it will be a good situation for them coming out onto the field on offense, ready to go in the second half.
Yeah, obviously no kickoff so far. This is the first kickoff of the game for Oxford Brookes, so returners for the Lions. Not 100% sure how deep to line up, but equally good return here. Get it towards midfield. You've still got, I guess, a minute or so to kind of get down the field and sort of score some points. So pivotal play, I'd say, this before the end of the half.
A mix of experience and rookies on the special teams for the Lions here. And you and I know better than anyone, this more often than not turns into a mess. We have plans ready to go on this situation, or rather the special teams coordinator will have plans of how he wants this blocked up. But a big kick here from Oxford Brookes. It does look like the Lions are going to try and field it. It's number 88 with the ball. Looking to return straight down the middle, and he's going to get tackled at around the 30-yard line. Good work all around.
Yeah.
A little bit of afters, and there is some laundry on the field.
Well, one thing about Britball, whether that's university or adult football, special teams will be a mess. So you can draw it up on paper with nice lines, but yeah, it's going to descend into chaos usually. So yeah.
So that flag on the play is going to be a block in the back on Birmingham. It's going to march him back a few yards. So the offense will take, it's a 15-yard penalty on Birmingham. So it's going to be 15-yard line for start for the Birmingham Lions. We've got Femi back in the backfield, number 21. And I think they probably look to just close out the quarter here. Probably a couple of runs, I'd expect.
Yeah, we've not got exact time left that's in the quarter, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see what they do, whether they run it out or go to the air.
It is going to be a run to number 21. Hits the outside, and there is a big gain. He's doing really well up the sideline. Eventually tackled out there by the Brookes player. It looks like the Lions will take a timeout here. because, as we said previously, it's a run, it finished in bounds, so the clock would run had the Lions not taken the timeout.
Yeah, I think that was one of the very few runs so far that the Lions have called that was designed to sort of go outside. And
there we go, that is the half. So, going into half-time, the Birmingham Lions trail Oxford Brookes University by 6 points to nothing. A very tight game, James, and one that is poised for the second half.
yeah, absolutely poised for the second half.
Across the half-time break, we're going to see a performance from the Birmingham Pussycats. Their showcase event of the year, to be fair. They've been practicing very, very hard for this, just as both teams have been. We saw the referees having a bit of a chat to Ed Perry there before he goes off the field. Probably a little bit of a discipline issue. Oxford Brookes getting together before for their half-time team talk, as will the Birmingham Lions. It's a tight game.
Yeah, 100% a tight game. Before the Pussycats come out, just a bit of kind of recap, I guess. Fast-moving half, lots of running the ball. Lions had success kind of with that gap scheme running up the middle, and the few times they did call those outside runs, they picked yards up on them, so they've just not managed to convert. They've probably got quite a few offensive yards, but just not had great field position, not been able to convert drives. So, yeah, a few adjustments in the second half. Maybe look to throw the ball deeper intermediate routes, a bit more than they have so far. But equally, you don't want to move away from that running game. So stay on track, stay in those third and short situations, and they'll be okay in the second half. They'll score some points.
I think the big thing for the Lions and for Brookes at this point in time, and something that I took into my playing career, was don't get too high, don't get too low. You don't want the score going into half being too much of an issue for those players, or the coaches actually. There are some first-time coaches out there as well. You don't want the situation that you're in to stress you out too much. Just know that that's what comes with playing a game of football.
Yeah, 6-0 it's almost a nothing score. It's negligible at this point in time. So one score, you get in the end zone one time, kick the extra point, and suddenly you're on top again. So I wouldn't worry too much in any way. But yeah, definitely some adjustments to be made in the second half. But don't move away from that running game. It's the one thing that's working. So yeah.
Just while we wait for the Birmingham Pussycats to set up and get ready to go, we'd just like to give a shout out to a joint upcoming media social event, Off the Record. That's being hosted by Guild TV, Burn FM and the Red Brick newspaper. It's happening at the Night Owl in Digbeth on November the 19th. I expect live music from 3 bands, drinks, dancing, and a great opportunity to socialise. Also, if you've enjoyed watching sport and would do it for a living, consider getting involved in Guild TV. There is plenty of opportunities to get hands-on experience behind the camera, so if you've got any aspirations in the world of broadcasting, presenting, give these guys a shout, see if you can get involved, because as you can see, they've done an excellent job today on the presenting side, on the camera work side, and we're just about to film the Pussycats, the Birmingham Pussycats, as they warm up in the corner, getting ready to go. It's their showcase event, this, isn't it, essentially?
Yeah, it's what they work towards from sort of a showcase perspective. From very early on in the year, they put just as much effort in as sort of the American football team does, the Lions. Same amount of training sessions, early mornings, late nights. So yeah, both teams work super hard, and this is just an event for them. Just as much an event for them as it is for sort of the Lions.
A couple of things for you to look out for on the Pussycats. Every year there are bespoke bows, I understand, that they get for these events, especially for their different events, their AG3s, the big national competitions. And Explosion's always a big event for them. There's always merch, there's always T-shirts, there's always extra bits and pieces to come out of it. And really looking forward to seeing what they do with it this year. And to be honest, I don't know about you, when you hear the rehearsals going on, there are certain songs that I can never get out of my head, because I know that they were performances by the Pussycats at Explosions gone by.
No, 100%. They seem to have a few favourite artists that sort of come up every year. But yeah, no, those songs are still in my head now. So yeah, it's great to see that sort of the Lions themselves will sit there, sort of make sure they watch the performance, give it the respect it deserves, because it is absolutely phenomenal in its own right.
One thing that I will say prior to this performance, always an interesting day is the Cheer American Football Swap Day. It's something that they've done as a fundraiser in the last couple of years, which saw the Birmingham Lions give a bit of dancing a go, and vice versa. The cheerleaders come in and putting on some pads and trying to play some American football.
I don't want to sit here and say that we were better than they were at respective sort of sport, but I think we did a good job. I distinctly remember having you above my head at one point with a couple of other people. So
always fun. It's one of my favourite positions to be in, James. And always interesting to see the girls give American football a go. Always just as aggressive as the gents as well. Maybe sometimes more as well. It gives everyone an opportunity to give everything a go, and it's always a great way to fundraise for both clubs. As we hype ourselves up for the Pussycats performance, this is what a lot of the people are here for. Like I mentioned earlier, it isn't just the Birmingham Lions, it is the Pussycats, and they're ready to go as well. The crowds have swelled, especially at pitch side, as all of the alumni for the Birmingham Pussycats come by as well. It's always a nice thing to see.
That's 100%. That's something that every year at Explosion, so the Pussycats do a great job of getting their alumni back. They're all sort of in the crowd, in their bows and stuff like that, in their hair. There's hundreds of them here every year, kind of thing. So yeah, they do a great job of bringing alumni back, just like the Lions do as well. But it really helps swell the crowd, and equally the weather's held off. It's not too cold here, no rain, no water, anything like that. So yeah, no, it's a good atmosphere out here.
It's always interesting to see games like this, especially if the Lions are going to go inside. The Oxford Brooks have actually, you won't see them on the field because they've retreated to their dressing rooms because they are just as scared of the Pussycats as they are the Lions by the sounds of it. But they are always, the Lions are always out watching the Pussycats, as you mentioned. And it really does give you a bit of a boost, see the support that's there, see the hard work that's gone in. It's really difficult sometimes after a game like this, where you go into what might be a regular season game and suddenly the pomp and circumstance isn't there. It does test the resolve and the commitment of some players, actually. You do see a little bit of a drop-off on the numbers after Explosion because of the pomp and circumstance that comes around it.
Yeah, and I think that community element of like you watching each other's kind of performance as well, I'll be quite transparent. The night out after tonight will be much better if the Lions can win here.
Obviously.
So yeah, the Pussycats will have a great night out no matter what. But for the Lions' point of view, stay focused, stay locked in, but equally respect sort of the Pussycats' performance, and sort of the second half, make sure you come out firing.
And now for the Lions, it's just about the adjustments at half-time. While they wait for this performance, they're going to be chatting to their coaches, making sure that the adjustments that they're needing to make are going to be made in the second half. From the defensive side, we talked about that a little bit, maybe wanted to be a bit more aggressive, but we saw the faults of that in the touchdown towards the end of the first half from Bates. But it's a give and take, isn't it, I suppose, from the Lions on the defensive side of the ball?
Yeah, to be truthful, I don't think they've really done much wrong. Like that big pass play happened over the top of you, but they were targeting that side of the field over and over again. Number 5 was doing a good job sort of locking that down for the most part, but just got a little bit greedy on that last one. And I don't want to take away from the fact that it was a great play by number 11 as well. High point the ball. He had a lot of sort of, he's much taller than the Lions cornerback that was over there. So yeah, you sort of throw the ball over that many times, it's going to happen.
Reminiscent, if I will, if you'd say so, of a Explosion pass and Obed Adai versus a very tall Cardiff receiver that I can remember. Oliver Luck, I want to say, now playing at Aztecs in Bristol. Maybe a national champion, actually, not sure 100%. But a good player in his own right. Obed, the short man in stature, definitely that day, but came out on top. We'll have to see how Aaron can bounce back from that. I don't want to say mistake. It's very difficult in the life of the DB. I've done it myself. One mistake causes an issue like that. However, it will be something that he'll be disappointed in. Just before he made an excellent play. And it's about not being too happy about the previous play and not being too put off by the next play that you maybe, let's say, miss. On the picture at the moment, you'll see Looks like a lot of the defense players, linebackers I'd be guessing, maybe safeties, it's DBs. And that will be the message that's being relayed to him at the moment. Don't get too high, don't get too low. Expect the deep ball, because you've probably got, in the front seven for the Birmingham Lions, the linebackers and the D-line, you've got a very strong tackling unit.
I was just going to say that the way that you're stopping the run at the moment, you don't have to take risks in the secondary. Play over the top of everything. You know that they're not going to go anywhere fast in the run game as of right now. So play over the top, be sort of safe in that respect, and the box players will do their job, and you don't have to worry about anything.
And now the crowd is starting to swell for the 2025 performance of the Birmingham Pussycats. Here we're about to see them run onto the field, and from there we'll see what they're going for, the music choice, and we'll let them take it away.
Birmingham Pussycats!
Pussycats.
Yellow diamonds in the light. Now we're standing side by side as a shadow crosses mine. What it takes to come alive. It's the way I'm feeling, I just can't deny. about to explode. Watch me, I'm intoxicated, digging the show. Let me hypnotize, everybody step aside. Still the night, kill the lights, feel it under your skin. That's right, keep it tight, 'cause it's pulling you in. Wrap it up, you can't stop, 'cause it feels like an overdose.
What a performance from the Birmingham Pussycats. Come on, guys, let's give it up for the Birmingham Pussycats.
Amazing in regards to their athleticism, big coordination, some real feats of... I certainly can do some of those flips I'm seeing out there, James.
This is cliche, but you took the words right out of my mouth. I was about to say I couldn't do anything like that. So, yeah, no, it's super impressive.
Again, as expected, that's pumped the crowd up, ready for this second half. Probably a little bit more down your street on the music side there, James, I'd expect.
Wow. Well, you're presuming things there. No, listen, like I said before, they have artists that they like to go back to, is
Yes.
what I'd say.
Definitely, but they've chosen some great music to perform an amazing routine to. Nothing that we wouldn't expect from the Birmingham Pussycats. They always show up and shout in these occasions. That's why they do so well at the competitions as well, and obviously that's what this is practice for, it's what they're preparing for. And when they go to those competitions, it's this team that are going to represent the university as well.
Yeah, no, like it's unbelievable how they have so many routines to learn. That one being for Explosion there that lasts 10, 15 minutes long, but equally so many competitions throughout the year, national, at national level. They've got so much to remember, so much to be able to do. It's really, really interesting.
And as I've mentioned, they've done an amazing job. Their alumni will all be proud, all their friends will be super proud of them. They'll be expecting to go out and have a great night tonight. It's something that the Birmingham Lions are going to need to work for this evening. It's not going to be a given. The Oxford Brooks have shown to be an impressive team, especially on the defensive side of the ball, but nothing necessarily the Birmingham Lions can't hang with. Any particular predictions going into the second half?
Yeah, luckily I didn't have to do a night out after an explosion, after a loss. So won both the ones I was a part of. So, yeah, I don't want to imagine what that would be like. But, no, predictions for the second half in that sense. I think the Lions don't need to worry. They stick to running the ball, so definitely at the middle with those gap scheme runs like I've been talking about. Maybe getting in some sort of favourable down and distance situations to be able to open up the passing game a little bit more. I do think there's opportunities there with that when they bring more defenders down into the box. But, yeah, just need a couple scores in the second half. Field position goes a long way with that. It's sort of underestimated how hard it is to string together an 80-yard drive, definitely in British American football. So good.
In that regard, I think the key thing for Birmingham will be a takeaway, right? When we talk about takeaways, we're talking about interceptions, forced fumbles, recovered fumbles, and that kind of thing that the defense can do to make the offense's life a lot easier, and vice versa as well. Obviously, a good drive from the offense leaves the defense in a good position from their point of view. But something that the defense can definitely do to help out the offense. They might need it today. That might be one of those kinds. It might be one of those kinds of games.
Yeah, like. Problem with that is Oxford Brooks have done a great job of like doing the safe things well. They've thrown those balls into the flats and a high clip and have completed a lot of them. Running game wise, not been so strong, but as long as you're not fumbling the football, putting it on the floor, if you can complete that to those outside passes, you're okay, you're fine. They've had sort of one one pass over the top that really sort of split the defence open, but apart from that, they've been solid.
And again, this game is a historic one, right? It's been going on for a very, very long time. Something that the Lions and the boys that I've spoken about today, they've reiterated this theme of Pride Never Dies, and it's tied into their new kit and everything that they're going for this year. That Pride Never Dies thing for me is something that our head coach, my first head coach, Greg Freeman, characterised as once, always, forever. So you're once lion, always lion, forever a lion. I've seen it described in different ways with different head coaches, but the sentiment's the same. There is a undying love that you have for the team, having played for it. It was interesting. We were having a look at the guys and the numbers today, and obviously these are brand new kits. It's always interesting to see the players that played in the same number that you played in. So you've had a look. Who's your man today?
Yeah, I think we have this thing, kind of, it's an honour to wear a single digit, is what's kind of been a thing here at Birmingham for quite a long time. So Owen actually is playing in my number 8. He's been making some plays, obviously won the game for the Lions last week, so he's doing me proud in that sense.
Yeah, that was Owen McKenzie, number 8. He's done a really good job so far. A big couple of tackle for losses and a real leader, an obvious leader in that defence. For me, Leo Beckman in number 3. 3 I wore in my last explosion here. I've worn all sorts of numbers, 22s, 24s. But Leo Beckman for me, a bit of a nice connection there in that he's a lad that I coached last year when I was coaching the receivers. He is a real playmaker. There's a couple of times we've got the ball out into his hands, but he's a deep threat, and I've seen him make plays that win games off the back of deep passes from Gavin. If there's one prediction that I'm going to make, it will be that we'll see that at some point in this game. They're going to need to go deep at some point in this game. Watch for it to be to one of either Leo Beckman or Jamie Moschetti, who's playing today. Excellently already, but he is playing in number 9 as well. And that's going back to those single digits that we're talking about. They're the playmakers in your team.
They are, and I think the Pride Never Dies thing as well, right? Like, you've had 10, 15, 20, 30 people since the inception of the team of wearing your number over a 30-year period. And that doesn't go away. Those people stick around the programme. That's why the numbers swell here at Explosion. They come back. People from 20, 30 years ago playing, they're always sniffing around the programme. They want to know what's going on. So, absolutely, you need to make sure that you remember when you're playing for something more than just you at this time, more than the number in the jersey you're wearing, but for like 1,000, 2,000 people that have come through this programme in sort of the last 30, 35 years.
And despite the position of the Lions at the moment, and it's the same can be said for Hertfordshire as well, the team we played last week, we are currently the only 2 teams in the nation, I believe, to have won 5 Premiership titles. UE are quickly catching up to that with
sniffing at the heels, yeah.
Their import-heavy teams, but it was one of the previous eras where the Hearts and Lions did particularly well. And so there's a lot of pride, and I don't mean to make the pun there, of the Lions, but there is pride in the people that come before you. Again, there are players that have come through this programme that could be argued are some of the best players this country has ever seen in their given positions. Tristan Varney being one of them at the quarterback position. Eddie Onamade has gone on to do great things with Bristol Aztecs this year, winning a national championship, but also representing GB in the flag system and in the contact system as well.
Well, he's recently plied his trade at flag football as well, being that that's sort of been pushed into the Olympics for 2028. He's looking to be an Olympian that the Birmingham Lions have produced sort of soonish. So, yeah, no, tons and tons of pedigree, tons of people sort of going through the programme. Yeah, it's more than just you at this point in time.
Exactly, and that's where that Pride Never Dies comes into it. That's the theme for today, but at this point in time, yes, it's an overarching theme for the day for the Lions, but it's not going to be at the forefront of their mind. The forefront of their mind is getting back out onto this field as we gear up for the third quarter, the start of the second half. The Lions are going to be taking the kickoff and hopefully making this nice and easy for themselves and taking it for a touchdown.
Yeah, that's the goal, isn't it? But no, field position again, it's a phrase that's been used often already, but it's really tough to put that 80, 90 yard drive together, especially in Brit ball, especially in British University American football, sort of in the cold, usually in the wet. So turnovers are key, special teams are key. So this play that's about to happen to kick off the second half is important.
If you are just joining us for the second half, we are about to kick off with Oxford Brookes up 6-0 on the Birmingham Lions at Explosion 2025. We've got 2 back to receive for the Lions. The last kick went a little short, so we'll see how this one goes. And we're underway again. Kick is relatively short. They're going to look to field it, and they do cleanly. We are looking for a central return, but that is a massive hit from the Oxford Brookes. Number 92, I want to say. He's done a great job there, but it has resulted in an injury for number 80 of the Birmingham Lions. That number 80 is going to be Jack Coker. Hopefully he is okay. I think he's just going to be winded, is going to be my guess there, because that was some hit from the number... I'm not going to give a number there from the Oxford Brookes, but a difficult one to see for the Lions and his teammates. Yeah. Despite that, he has brought the ball out to a good position for the Birmingham Lions there.
Ball out to the 35. I think special teams is a very it's a violent part of the game. You think players are sort of getting a run-up, a 30, 40-yard run-ups on one another and sort of trying to make blocks that will sometimes result in injuries, unfortunately, but hopefully he's okay.
While we wait on the injury, though, we see the Oxford Brookes taking a knee out of respect for the Birmingham Lions players, and the players doing the same on the sideline. These disruptions do happen. It's probably, from a Birmingham Lions point of view, it's not a bad time for this to happen, in that they've just come out the half. They're not going to be 100% up to speed just yet anyway, but, I mean, there's no good time for a teammate to go down injured.
No, there isn't, but like you said, the offense has got a bit more time now. They'll have had what play they were going to call sort of already relayed to them sort of for the last 5-10 minutes through half-time. But you've got a little extra time to kind of go over what you're going to do, go over your blocking assignments up front from a line perspective, and just really execute at a high level as you come out the half here. Scoring out the half on your first drive, great tone setter for the rest of the game kind of thing. So, yeah, the little bit of extra time, it won't do them any harm.
And football's a game of momentum, right? It's something that, again, this was instilled to me in my first year in the sport, playing with coaches like Greg and like Lawrence Matthews. Was a big thing of his, was those big swings of momentum. We want to see something big out the half. We want to see something big off of a change of possession. Any time that the ball changes hands, that's exactly what we want to see.
Yeah, obviously, I think here we're looking at probably a run coming out the half. You don't want anything too sort of extensive first play of the half, but gearing up, carry on running up the middle, and sort of when the time is right, take that shot deeper down the field, whether it's a deep post if sort of they're running those 2 wide safeties, or probably attack if it is man coverage like they have been running for the first half, just attacking them one-on-one on the outside. So, yeah.
Just a quick update. We've seen Jack just sit up there, which is a positive sign. Good for him to see him doing that. It looked like they were stabilising his neck at one point, which is always a worry. But it looks like he's up. He looks alert, which is good to see. I think our physios are probably going to try and help him from the field. Justin Lester looking concerned for his player there, as he just wants to do. It makes sense. But as we're just going to wait for these medics to help Jack off the field. Looks like he's okay. Walking off, he's going to go off under his own speed, which is always good to see. We see Oxford Brookes defense retake the field, and the Lions offense. We're seeing number 21. A reminder that is Femi return to the game. He played excellently in the first half, James, and I think what we will see, I think you're completely right. We're going to see the run up the middle, see how it works for the Lions.
Yeah, 2 receivers at the bottom of the screen here with sort of 2 tight ends as well, one on each side of the offensive line. So heavy set, very unbalanced over sort of the left-hand side of the field. So
with this, unless we see some kind of motion, we're probably expecting a run to left-hand side here. Femi has lined up very deep there, but he's burst through the middle A great pickup of about 7 on the play from Femi there.
This is the thing about being in the pistol where the running back's lined up behind the quarterback. He's got, like Milo said, he's got such a long way before he gets to the line of scrimmage. You can really build up ahead of steam, and by the time he's got through the line of scrimmage, he's going at a fair rate of knots, but he does look to be down here, unfortunately.
Femi looks down. We'll have a look at the collision. Nothing particularly too out to war, nothing to the head. He does look a bit dazed, though. We just want to make sure he's okay. Football's a violent sport, right? 2 plays, 2 injuries potentially for the Lions. Again, the good thing for them, this looks more like it's going to be cramp for Femi more than anything else, which is a good thing, because that could be rectified quite easily. But we've got Dev for that running back position. We saw Dev come out and do a good job when he was called upon. We've still not seen Giuseppe take to the field. Again, maybe a best-kept secret for the Birmingham Lions.
Yeah, I think next man up mentality is something that goes around a lot in sort of American football, where people get injured, people get tired, and someone would ask, why is there a squad of sort of 50, 60 guys? And this is the reason, right? You need 3, 4 running backs because it's a tough slog. Equally, the last injury with sort of the Birmingham Lions kick returner, it's next man up. There's going to have to be someone in there to stand back deep and field kicks. It's daunting, but you need more than one guy to do it. So that's why there's 50 guys sat on the other side of the field there.
It's something that you don't necessarily see with a football game or a rugby game even. You're looking at squads of 20, 23 in those. This is a much more specialised sport, if you like. Not necessarily that it's any harder or more difficult, but the skills are more specific to each position.
Yeah, it's specified but violent, I guess, and those two things create that storm of needing 60 people to get you through a season, so yeah.
Exactly. We've spoken a little bit already about the quarterback position, the wide receivers position, and the running back position, actually. There was a shout out earlier for the O&D line. So the O-line, or offensive line, are those 5, usually 5, sometimes 6 large men on the offense who are going to protect the quarterback and make gaps for the running back to run through. They are going directly head to head, maybe in some of the only kind of one-on-one, man-on-man battles that you get on an American football field with the D-line. So usually, again, between 3 and 4 larger-bodied people for the defence on that side of the ball. And this side, in this case, the Oxford Brook side of the ball. Looks like they're going to go with 3 down linemen. That means 3 people, maybe 4. 3 guys down in 4-point stances, ready to attack James Gavin. And it's a run up the middle with Dev. And it looks like he's got the first down. And again, we have to credit the O-line.
Yeah, number 9 coming in there, helping out, sort of inserting to sort of pick up one of the blocks in the gap that they're running through. But yeah, the O-line themselves sort of, they're an integral part of an offense. You really won't go far in a season if you don't have a good offensive line. So the engine and the driving force that keeps an offense moving and a team moving, really.
It's taken 3 men to get Dev down there. Again, small in stature, but big in heart and big in power in those little legs, it seems. We've got Jamie in motion again. A high snap, but a flag. It's likely going to be where it's come from. What are we expecting here, James?
Possibly a false start, given the fact that they've not let the play go on.
Indeed. False start on the Birmingham Lions. That takes them back and makes that just a little bit more difficult. It's going to be first down still, but this time 1st and 15.
Yeah, it's what we've said. You don't want to get behind the chains. With the Lions running at sort of 4 or 5 a clip, it's a good position to be in, but when you do get in 1st and 15s, penalties will kill you.
What they'll look here is they're not going to panic. They're probably going to look for an explosive run. We've got 2 receivers down to the bottom of the screen. Dev in the backfield again with Gavin. See the short motion of Jamie. And it is run. We saw excellent work from the Oxford Brooks D-line as number maybe 36 comes through. Does a great job with number 5. And they have dropped Dev for a loss there.
Yeah.
And now 2nd and, we said it earlier, a short taxi for the Birmingham Lions.
I think whichever direction you're running towards, you usually leave the backside end unblocked. And he did that there, but sometimes he will chase down plays. He will chase down from the backside, and that's kind of what he did there. Some redirecting in the backfield because the blocks weren't set up quite correctly, and that backside end chases it down. So, yeah.
We've gone back to Dev, we've gone back to a heavy set. We've got Tom Ramsden in a tight end / wing position here. 2 receivers out, one either side, and we've got Jamie, maybe a delay of game here. And they're going to go back again by the look of it. It's been another 5-yard penalty for the Birmingham Lions. Not what we want to see when, as we've said, we're trying to stay ahead of these chains. This is going to be very difficult. That's one on a little bit on Gavin, but maybe just the Lions get into the ball a little bit quicker.
Again, Nathan Lester in his large playbook for a small man, he won't have many plays that are designed to sort of pick up this amount of yardage. So, got to look to something out of the ordinary. Probably not going to pick this up running the ball here, so...
Maybe, again, we're only on 2nd down here, maybe a run to set them up with something a little bit more manageable. But where Oxford Brooks have done well at the start of the 2nd half is coming out and dealing with that run. You might look for something quick to the outside here, and they do. Oh, off the hands of number 88.
It's the first time they've really used the tight ends in the passing game, sort of. He still brought that man in motion, number 9, to try and insert in the run game, but sort of faked that to the running back and threw it to the tight end, but got to catch the ball ultimately. It was on target by Gavin, but yeah, got to bring that in if you're a receiver.
3rd and a country mile here for the Birmingham Lions. They're going to struggle to pick up this 1st down, but again, we talk about field position. Those punts haven't been necessarily on point from the Birmingham Lions, so any yards that they can make up at this point are going to be absolutely crucial.
Yeah, this isn't about picking up a 1st down here. It's about picking up 10. It's about picking up 15 to just work on that field position game.
Gavin back in the gun again. Gets Dev. We've seen a block from in the middle there. Dev's still on his feet. There's no forward progress there, and Oxford Brooks do a good job to swallow him up. A little bit of afters there, but I think all is okay. And I imagine we're going to see the Birmingham Lions punt team here. And here they come.
Yeah, this is a key play here from, again, field position perspective. We keep saying it, but if we can make this Oxford Brooks drive start at the 20 inside there, that's a win, really, based on sort of the situation they were in.
Birmingham Lions have switched punters here. So we've gone away from Jono and to Rambo here, number 88. He's going to be wanting to make up for that miss. Well, not a miss, rather a catch that he would have been expecting to make there with a booming punt here. This is always a daunting one, waiting for this long snap to come back to you. Done it myself, and especially when there's a group of fast people coming to get the ball, and it is blocked by Oxford Brooks. Picked up by the Lions, but Oxford Brooks will take over on the Lions 20 or so.
Special teams is a killer. A little bit of sort of hesitation there from Ramsden. Caught the snap. Did a little look up before he looked to kick the ball. Ultimately, that's what cost him there. But again, special teams is a killer. If you get that punt off well, you're looking at the other 20 rather than our 20.
Oxford Brooks back on the field now. One in the gun with a less of a heavy formation. And that is a massive play. But Owain McKenzie, it's number 11. It's Sean Shovey, the president of the Birmingham Lions. I went with Owain there because he's been such a force so far. That's the first one from Sean, and at a crucial time.
Interesting here, different quarterback in for Oxford Brooks as well, number 4 rather than number 2. Ran a sort of read option there where an option to keep the ball, and he did. Probably the wrong decision there.
So we've got Holmes in at quarterback. See if he can unpick the Birmingham Lions defense now. And it is a run this time. He opts to hand it off rather than keep it. And they do a really good job of the gang tackle to the Birmingham Lions. It doesn't always need to be one man doing all of the work. If you can have Bav, for example, stop the man at the point of attack and then get everyone in on that ball, that's going to be just as good for the Birmingham Lions. That's almost preferable, I'd say.
Probably in a similar situation to the Lions just were in here. You're probably in the edge of field goal range. You want to pick up a few yards to make this field goal easier. It's 3rd and 15.
3rd and 15, as James mentions, for Oxford Brooks. 4 wide for Oxford Brooks, looking to pass, and it is a short one, incomplete. That is a massive series for the Lions. They really couldn't afford to concede a big play there.
Yeah, really
And that's 3 downs of excellent defensive play from them.
It backs up against the wall there. If you were to give them a first down, they're in field goal range, and you're giving up another, well, a chance at another score, at which point you're 2 scores down. But they've held well. It's 4th down. They are bringing the offense, or they're leaving the offense on the field. So it's going to be 4th and 12, 13. Going to try and pick this up. Like I said, it's probably going to be too far for their kicker to kick a field goal. That's why they're still out here. But yeah.
They're going to look for either a deep pass here, maybe something underneath and look for some yards after catch, or just to be out here to draw the Birmingham Lions offside. And it is snapped. It's going to be a deep pass over the top, over the receiver. And the Birmingham Lions will take over on their 25. It's a great defensive series from Birmingham Lions.
Yeah, no harm done from the block punt in the end. A very quick series as well, keeping time on the clock, given the fact you're down from a Lions perspective.
And 2 incomplete passes there as well, which does, as we said, stop that clock. So it's good for the Lions.
I don't think we're quite in clock watching territory yet, but ultimately as a Lions fan at this point, you want more time on the clock than not giving you 6-0 down. So yeah, long way to go here, but let's just get some run plays going. Let's churn some yardage out and yeah, see where we are.
Gav out in the field now with Dev running onto the field. They're going to be careful for a delay of game here. They've got to get this play off. Here we go. We've got Ramsden in the backfield again. Oh, little shifty on the exchange there, but Dev does well to keep hold of the ball. A little bit of ball hunting from the Oxford Brooks players there, but Dev pops up with another 5 to 7 yard gain. You can't complain with that. I will say at this point as well, as we're midway through the second quarter, at the third quarter break, we are going to be making in the third quarter break, we are going to be taking from questions from the chat. So if you do have anything you fancy asking your 2 commentators today, we'll do our best to give you some interesting answers as well. As Gavin lines up with a wing back to his right, Dev in the backfield. He's going to look to the air this time. It's a deep ball. Hey, really good work from number 10 there. Won his individual battle. And that was Angus Webber. He'd done really well to win his individual battle on the outside. Slightly overshot from Gavin.
There you are again, sort of in that man coverage look where he was a slot receiver there, sort of man-on-man matched up against sort of like a box safety type. Won his route on running up the seam, up the hashes. Just maybe a bit more air, a bit more touch on that from Gavin to kind of layer it in there and give his receiver a chance to go and get the ball.
We've got a wing back to the right, a running back 3-4 yards behind Gavin, and it's going to be a pass again. This time to number 88. That's Rambo again, unable to corral it in. 4th down now to the Birmingham Lions. It's going to be another punt, and this time we're going to need to see this one get away from the Birmingham Lions.
Yeah, again, it's not an ideal series. You'd like to have connected on one of those passes. Equally, you didn't get the yards you wanted maybe on first down from the running game. Leave yourself in 2nd and 7, 2nd and 8. You take a deep shot and suddenly you're in 3rd and long. So not a great series, but hopefully we can get this punt away, get some field position, and let the defense do what they did last time.
Ramsden will take the kick this time from the 12. Snap is a little bit high, does well to corral it this time again. It's kicked low, but it will be stopped. Oh, that's an interesting tactic from the Oxford player there. He's not going to advance the ball from that position with the Lions player there as well. But there, Oxford Brooks will have their offense come out at the 31-yard line and a lot more comfortable from a Lions perspective this time.
Yeah, I think I mentioned this earlier, obviously, in my career as a punt returner. Those are sometimes the most difficult ones to deal with, the ones that dribble along the floor. Obviously, it's not a circular ball, so you don't know where it's going to end up, and really tough to read and really tough to sort of pick up, especially in the wet, in the cold. It's something you want to stay away from.
Holmes in at quarterback again for the Oxford Brooks offense. Claps and a bit of a screen pass out to the right-hand side to number 3. Some missed tackles from the Lions there. Oh, and a big hit from Bavia Gandhi. That is going to be out of bounds. And that is going to be a flag on number 1 for the Birmingham Lions, most likely for unnecessary roughness. It was a good run in the first place from number 3. Did well to pick up the ball. That's number 3, Marsh, done really well there. But it's going to be a tackle out of bounds from Bav, I think.
Yeah, first play of the drive, sort of swinging it out on that bubble screen, and had room to run. I thought there might have been a bit of a hold on number 4, Owen El Hawari.
Flag has been waved off, so the officials making the decision that it was just on the edge from Bab. That's exactly what you want to play realistically. You don't want to be giving the offensive players too much, but maybe one gone for the lines there. Oxford Brooks pick up the first down. Oh, not quite first down yardage, so it's second and inches realistically. Might look for the run play here, but they are spread. It does go to the running back, and he will fall forward, and it's going to depend on the spot here from the referee.
They've been balling out all game, regardless. Babia Gandhi coming in clutch through that hole.
We're going to have a see where this spot goes, and it is just short, I want to say again. So it's going to be third down.
Yeah, that's going to be third and short, and like I've sort of said, the run defense for the Birmingham Lions, it's been stout. They've not really given anything up on the ground, so leads the question here for Oxford Brooks. Do you run it again, or do you go to the air here? It is third and short, so
99 and number 1 coming up clutch there for the Birmingham Lions. We're expecting a run here from Oxford Brooks, but I wouldn't. Oh, that's a massive play.
it's going to be a false start, I think.
2 flags coming at once. That's a really good thing for the Birmingham Lions. It's going to take Oxford Brook back about 5 yards. It makes the decision probably a little bit less clear for what to do for the Oxford Brooks rather.
I think it makes it more clear. I think the way that you've been...
10, sorry, my fault, my bad. It's going to be... Oh, it is 5.
No, it's 5. Yeah, the way you've been running the ball there, you're probably in like 3rd and 1. Do we risk it? Do we not? But 3rd and 6, like...
They're going to go to the air.
Yeah.
And I expect to see something in the hitch on the outside. Probably to number 3 or number 11 would be my guess. We might come to this near side.
I'm gonna do a Tony Roman, say there's a hitch to the top of the screen here.
It's Holmes.
Oh.
And guess what? That's kind of right, James. Did a real good job there. But Birmingham Lions rally to the ball, and it's going to be really close as to whether they're going to give them the first down. Just where one of the referees is lined up there, for me, I think that's going to be short again. And it is. It's 4th down for Oxford Brooks.
Really tough decision here. 4th and 1, but you're in your own half. Given the fact you're 6-0 up, a good punt here pins the Lions inside their 10. I'm punting it here.
Looks like the punt's coming for Oxford Brooks. The only other option here is a fake punt, which could be dangerous for the Birmingham Lions because you're not necessarily expecting it. I'd be shouting at my special teams to watch out for it in this situation, especially with such short yardage. And they do have the up back there as well. If he steps in and takes this ball, could be a dangerous one for the Lions. Baz spying it just in case. It is a traditional punt, and it is high again. I would be waving away if I were the Birmingham Lions. They've got to get away from the ball. Move away. There we go. Comes to settle down around the 25 of the Birmingham Lions. Not bad field position. Could be better, could be worse. We're going to see how they get on in this series.
Yeah, I just think exchanges of punts at the moment, neither offense can quite find their groove. They're having nice plays, having nice games, but stringing them together, making them consistent is proving quite difficult at the moment. Maybe it is time for the Lions now to kind of abandon the methodical pick up 5 and 6 on the ground and just try and rip off some chunk plays. Number 10 did manage to get open at the seam. Gavin just missed him last drive, so decisions to be made here.
Stavash in the backfield again, this time with Mosshed. Goes to Dev, and he's going to be running into those large D linemen for Oxford Brooks all day at this rate. The O-line may be starting to tire a little bit. We haven't seen those explosive plays we necessarily saw with them in the first half. As they look up again.
This was something I was going to bring up. Sometimes later in the game, it comes to a bit of a grind fest. You're fighting for scraps in the trenches, really, rather than explosive plays like it was at the end of the game. So running yards are a lot harder to come by now.
Got Leo Beckman at the top of the screen. But it goes to number 10. Makes a move on his DB. And the DB does a good job in making an open field tackle just before number 10. I believe, again, that is Angus. We've called his name a few times so far tonight, but he's taken the Lions to 3rd and short.
Yeah, number 88's in man coverage on him there. Number 10's his only responsibility. Angus is his only responsibility, but he's playing a bit softer now. He doesn't want to get beat over the top, so that underneath stuff will be there.
Johan Crump in the backfield here for Birmingham Lions. I'd be expecting a run. We have a timeout. That was the third quarter. A really tight game here between Birmingham and Oxford Brookes. It's going to be a shorter break between these two quarters, but not one that we're going to be too... Oh, okay, this is a massive deal for the Birmingham Lions. Seps, Giuseppe De Meo, or Seps as he is more colloquially known to his friends, is a big body back, and not one that you just run up the middle with, but one that can catch the ball in the flats. He played under-19s ball at Southampton Renegades. I've seen him on a story with Efa Abada, got the co-sign from the big D lineman from the NFL. He is a big game player. They brought him in at this point. At this point, I assume it's due to some kind of injury, but do not be surprised if you see him make some big plays in this fourth quarter.
Well, I think they're bringing in him as a big back to sort of pick up 2 yards in this short yardage situation. He definitely looks like he has the build to pick up these sort of 3rd and 1s, 3rd and 2s. Surprised he hasn't been used much more in this situation over the last couple of hours.
We'll see it, see if that is the way that Nathan Lester decides to go. Probably about the same height as Giuseppe De Meo. Both a strong 5'6", ready to take the ball here. It could all be missed because it's not at all any kind of deception from the Birmingham Lions. They give it to the big back and he takes him to midfield. An excellent play from number 32, Giuseppe De Meo.
Yeah, it's a bit of a change of pace. You bring the extra guy into the backfield in Crump to kind of essentially be a lead blocker and go through whichever hole you're planning to go through, and just plug Seps in behind him, and then, yeah, it's 2 big guys who can pick up that yard pretty easily.
Seps has come out of the game there. I imagine his usage is being monitored and limited. You have to assume it's for an injury at this point, considering what we've just seen him do. Dev's back in the game. We've got Crump at fullback. Jamie in motion. Ball snapped to Gavin, and it's Dev running head first into his own lineman, picking up 5. Another good work, more good work from the O-line. As we were saying about earlier, they are crucial to this run game.
Just as I said, it was time to maybe abandon it and move away from it. They seem to have found the ability to kind of pick up those 4 or 5 yard chunks and not go backwards. So penalties will be key, mistakes will be key here. Just got to keep going forward, going at 4 or 5 yards of play.
Here we go. More spread out from the Birmingham Lions receivers now. We've got 2 down to this side, and it is going out to Angus. Turns his DB this time. Does actually drop the ball, I think, going out of bounds. But it's going to be a ball. It's going to be 3rd and 1, I want to say, for the Birmingham Lions.
It's going to be where the ball went out of bounds when it was fumbled, unfortunately. So I don't think it's going to be quite be a first down.
And it does look like they brought Seps back in. I don't think we overcomplicate this. It's a run down the middle. A or B gap. Giuseppe De Meo, number 32.
They might have been listening to us, you don't know.
We've got Crump in at fullback again, number 18. Snap to Gavin. Ball goes to Seps. It's first down. It's about as simple as it gets for the Birmingham Lions. I think we might start seeing more of Giuseppe De Meo in this fourth quarter if he's going to be this effective, realistically.
I think what it does, it really makes the defense sell out in terms of as soon as you see him from as personnel in the game, you kind of know that the ball's going up the middle. So you've got to commit more guys to the box. It definitely stresses them on the backfield perspective. You've got to bring an extra safety into the box, which again, like I think I've already said, sort of like opens up the passing game, opens up those deeper posts, allows one-on-one coverage to be more of a thing.
72 down on the field, an injury for the Birmingham Lions. Jamal Shade, who did take a little bit of a knock earlier, it seemed. He's up to a knee. He's up to his feet now and will be coming out of the game, replaced by number 70, it seems, on the O-line. Love to give those guys a shout out. That is Singh coming in at number 70 for the Birmingham Lions. And maybe a timeout here for Oxford Brooks, by the looks of things. A low-scoring game, but not one that has been without incident here, James, so far.
Yeah, 100%. The score itself was really, really pretty from a quarterback to receiver connection perspective. I think 11 it was, did a great job of hauling it in, high pointing the ball. Great ball by number 2 it was at the time. The quarterback was on the field. I think they've switched since to number 4 in the second half. Don't really know what the thought process was there behind that decision. Might be something else behind that, but I'm sure Calvin Stitt will have a reason for it. Yeah, that was the big play so far in this game.
I think the other one would be that punt blocked. That could have gone anywhere. We've seen him in our adult ball season. We've seen a good few blocked punts at the Coventry Phoenix. But it was just picked up essentially where it was blocked, and the Birmingham Lions defense did an excellent job stopping that going any further than it needed to.
And it's been a very null game is what I'd say. There's been no real turnovers, just a lot of punting, a lot of drive stalling, no big mistakes. I think, yeah. Interesting, sorry, Bath Gandhi out at receiver here, number 1.
This is a real interesting view. Not something that he's done that I'm aware of, particularly frequently, but a big body nonetheless. I've got a feeling he's coming in on the block here. Indeed he is. Steps to the outside. There is a flag on the play. That's number 21. Sorry, my fault on the thing. I've got a feeling that is going to be on Bath Gandhi. The referee threw the flag as soon as Bav came in. Bav comes to check on the man that he did put on the floor there.
I've had my fair share of disagreements with Bafra in the past, and it's going to be another one here, unfortunately. I just don't agree with that. It's just a great block. It's a great football play. I know we have sort of you can't crack back block someone, which is where you block someone against the play, but I just think that's a great football play ultimately.
A disagreement that is not necessarily unexpected with the referees from our point of view, but as an impartial person, the only reason I can see that being thrown, it will be for a head-to-head contact. Whether that is the case, that is what the referees have seen. They've thrown the flag. We'll see if they pick it up. I don't think they will. The Birmingham Lions will set themselves up 15 yards as we see the man that was subject to that block from Bavia Gandhi being helped from the field. We do hope, obviously, that there's no lasting damage. Number 33 for Brooks here.
Yeah, I think from the flag's perspective, that's going to be ultimately a loss of yards. So anytime that laundry comes on the field, it's going to negatively impact the line, which is kind of what we spoke about. We don't want to be behind the sticks, which is where we are now. So
it has gone down as some kind of unsportsmanlike conduct penalty for the Birmingham Lions. They've been backed up 15 yards from the previous spot. Bav Gandhi still in the game here, this time, I believe, at the fullback position. I think we know what's coming. It's going to be a block from him. That's a really good play from number 0. That's not Ashworth. Big Sue from him there. And not his teammate, whose name is actually Suey also. But number 0, Niall Ashworth, we mentioned him previously. He's going to be a big game player. He's been around the sport for a very long time. And he comes up with plays like that at times that matter for his team as well.
yeah, I think those guys that have played at a higher level than what this is really sort of come into their own in these games and they pop off the screen in that sense. Bav Gandhi being one of them himself a minute ago, and sort of Ashworth again there, sort of blowing up the play in the backfield. So surprised they've not actually used him on the offensive side of the ball, running the ball, as well as playing defensive end, which is where he's playing now.
Previously in the past, we know it's something that he can do. Birmingham Lions, again, we've spoken about it before, it is a long way to go, probably 30-odd yards to pick up this first down. Gavin with the ball, he's going to look to pass it. It has to go down the field. And it is over the head of number 9, that's Jamie. And I believe that's third down. The Birmingham Lions offense will come. No, that'll be second down, so this will be third. We'll have one more opportunity to make a big play here to get themselves down the field, or put themselves in slightly better field position before the fourth down.
I think there's kind of two ways you can go with this. Obviously, you can just try and run the ball to pick up a few extra yards and make the punt, which will go further down to their end zone. But equally, if you just throw a deep shot here and it does get intercepted sort of down at the 20, nothing lost there really in that sense. So for me, I'd be just be...
And on punt, as they call it.
Throwing up a prayer here.
Here we go. They've done just that. And it is intercepted from Gavin, but it is tackled by Leo Beckman. A little bit of afters there. Looked like Leo was trying to punch the ball out, maybe a little bit late. Could be argued either way. Brooks get the ball at the line, at their own 35.
Yeah, you just see the tackle there on the screen from Beckman. I think this has been a couple of times now with Gavin. He just needs to put a little bit more air under these passes. Give his receiver a chance to adjust. They're very flat, and what happens is it doesn't give the receiver much time to kind of turn around, see where the ball's in the air, adjust his course to go and get it. By the time he's kind of turned around, the ball's already there kind of thing. So a little bit more air. And
I love what I've just seen from Sean. They've just told his defensive colleagues to just calm down. Doesn't need to be the worst case scenario. They've played well, and they've almost got to the quarterback there, and they get there. Number 4 tackled. It won't be a sack, but Holmes is taken down.
And he's still staying active. That's the leader.
And it's going to be a 5-yard gain for the Oxford Brooks.
It's a really good job by the quarterback there. He could have been wrapped up in the backfield a couple of times, and he's ended up turning it into a 5-yard gain. That goes a long way in terms of staying in front of the chains.
It's the risk reward. We saw him hold one and get absolutely buried by Sean earlier in the game. But when he keeps him and he does have the ability to be shifty, we know what he can do. This time he goes to the air. It's number 11 again. Wrapped up this time by 45 and 5 for the Birmingham Lions. 48, and 5 for the Birmingham Lions. He's back working on this side of the field. This is where he scored his touchdown. You wonder if they go back to that well.
Yeah, it's definitely been frequent and often down here throwing the ball to number 11 on those little hitch routes. So, yeah, it's definitely a favoured side for them. Ultimately, 11 just will be their best receiver and their best player. So, yeah.
Bates has shown himself to be a dependable target for both quarterbacks that have been in this game now. So it's not even necessarily that it's a good connection between the two of them. He's probably just better than everyone else, would be my assumption. And he's shown it so far today. He's the difference in this game. And it's a pass this time to number 3, a block from Bates. And number 3 doing a really good job, taken out of bounds eventually by 26. That is Ezekiel Kale for Birmingham. Some good work there, but didn't stop Oxford Brooks making the game.
Ultimately, you're just playing the numbers game out there. It's 2-on-2 out there. So if the apex defender tries to sort of back the pass down the line, he was originally guarding the guy that caught the ball, and then it's corner and safety is the only people there to make the tackle. Good block from Bates on the corner, and it's another first down.
Oxford Brooks spread wide again. Running back step behind the quarterback here. It's the option play again, and this time he hands it off to the running back, who is swallowed up behind the line of scrimmage. It's Birmingham Lions again. The D-line and the pass rush is doing the run stopper is doing a great job.
I think if you look at the makeup of this defence, in terms of who's in that sort of box defender roles for the Lions, you've got Owain McKenzie, you've got Bav Gandhi. There's just some great players in there. It's going to be hard to run the ball. Owen El Harawi's in there as well. So 3 best defensive players. That's why the run game isn't really working for Brooks. So, but they still manages to move the ball, make the offense work with all these passes into the flats and sort of bubble screens. So,
as fireworks go off in the background of our forecast, we're hoping for fireworks at the end of this 4th quarter as Oxford Brooks stay on the march. Here we go. It's another pass, but he's going to run this time as Becked. It's going to be holding on the offensive line. There is a lot of flags on the field.
Again, flag.
Nice play from 4 nonetheless.
Yeah, again, flags on the field means the ball's going backwards. Holding, sort of, you can't grab onto a defender while you're blocking him. You can only sort of use the palms of your hands. So yeah, 3-4 flags in the field. All the refs saw it, and we're going to be going back 10 yards.
Eventually tackled on the play by number 48. That's Gami. He's done a great job wrapping up a man who's gone past 3 or 4 defenders already. And it will be going backwards for the holding on the Oxford Brooks players.
All right, so that was holding on the Brooks offense. So
I believe we are
15 yards. Replay, 2nd down.
It's going to be 2nd down.
New defensive lineman just came in for the Lions, number 90.
Number 90 is Omid. See if he can make a difference for the Lions now. Same set for Oxford Brookes. We're looking for a quick pass out to the outside, and that one is off target to number 3.
Going back to that flat region down here again, number 5 is wise to it, but just need to be careful given the down and distance. It's going to be 3rd and long, nothing over the top now from a Lions perspective.
It's going to be cover 4, which means we're going to likely see cover 4 from Chris Mitchell, the defense coordinator. He is going to put 4 guys back as deep as they'll go. They're swapping out the safeties here by the looks of things. Probably just from a deep coverage point of view. They want to make sure they got their best coverage players on just in case they go for something deep here. I personally would expect something shallow, as they've been wont to do, and look for the yards off the catch.
Yeah, equals well. You want your best pass rushers on the field in this sort of spot. You know it's going to be a pass. And let sort of Gandhi and Elmore as linebackers.
Sorry to cut you off. It looks like we're going to have to lay a game on the Oxford Brookes quarterback. We're taking back another 5. Probably doesn't make too much of a difference to all the play that they were going to call regardless, does it?
No, everything we were saying still stands true. Sort of 4 guys deep, 4 pass rushers who only have one responsibility to get to the quarterback, with two of your best linebackers at that second level kind of just patrolling, flowing to anything that's being thrown short. So, yeah.
And that's exactly what we've done. You can see Ona Hawari, number 4, out in the strong side outside back position there. And we're looking, hitch and go. They've gone deep. It's picked off this time by the Birmingham Lions. It's number 14. That is Kobe. And Marco, he's done an amazing job. Guess what? That man is a TikTok sensation, I'll have you know. Popularizing cinnamon buns for the entirety of TikTok. He's a poet. We do know it because he posts a lot about it on his social media. But you're going to hear his name a little bit more if he wants to do a bit more of that for the Birmingham Lions.
Yeah, make sure you go find his TikTok. It's it's something to behold.
If you enjoy your TikTok being filled with excessive TikToks, I will say, excessive videos, follow Kobe. He's a great follow. As the commentators pitch side try and get the crowd going a little bit more, Gav takes back out onto the field with Jamie, lets the man through. Here we go. Oh, Jamie wants that one back.
That's a design screen there. Offensive linemen were already out in space blocking for the receiver, and he did have a couple of lanes to run into. Just needs to corral that ball. And
it's one of those ones where you expect the ball to be in your hands, ready to make the move. You're moving before you've actually caught the ball. It's watching it all the way in.
Some would say just getting a little bit excited and knowing the ball's coming to you for maybe the first time in the game. So he's done a lot of blocking, number 9 so far, and finally gets a chance to catch the ball. Just a bit excited, maybe.
It's what we said before. It's not getting too high, not getting too low, not letting that disrupt your flow. Here we go, Gavin. Again, we're looking to the air. We've gone straight back to that well. Jamie's going to follow his box this time, and he's breaking free down to the 35-yard line of the Oxford Brookes. The O-linemen do a great job there of not holding and making sure that they're in the right position there for Jamie.
It's the same play call again, realistically. We kind of fake the stretch run to the right in the backfield with the left side of the line fanning out and blocking for the screen on the opposite side of the field. Good footwork from James Gavin to get that ball out there. Strong play.
Jamie's done well to not let that previous play get in his head. We've gone 4 wide for Lions here. We've gone back to the well again. Oh, God. That was up for grabs. Number 10 couldn't quite corral it in. We've had that name before. He's done really well today so far. The DB could have nicked that one off his fingertips. That would have been really dangerous for the Lions.
Yeah, when the ball's bouncing around like that, it's anyone's ball, really. But, yeah, just got to corral that first time. That's what Oxford Brookes have been doing well, kind of those hitches, the kind of the same route that the Lions ran there, those flat routes. They're doing them well. They're completing them at a higher clip. Just need to sort of iron out these mistakes, the Lions, and they're in a good spot on the field.
Second down for the Lions. Oh, it looks like we're going to have illegal formation on the Lions. A couple of flags come in there. We'll wait for the signal from the referees. It's probably going backwards from the Birmingham Lions.
Yeah, possibly too many men in the backfield. Illegal shift. not motioning in quite the right manner, which means we're going to be going backwards 5 yards.
Not the end of the world for the Lions. They've shown that they've got some explosive plays in them, but it won't help. I believe we're at second down after that penalty. First down. We will see how we go. There's an Oxford Brook man. Second down for the Lions. Spread formation. Gavin with the ball. Goes out to, again for Angus. We know he can do that, and he'll want that one back.
I think this is what I just said again, right? Like, Oxford Brook's doing a great job at completing those passes at a high clip, whereas it's 2 times now the Lions have kind of gone over there with Angus kind of bobbling the ball, trying to catch with his body a little bit, just trust that he can catch with his hands, not trying to make a move before he's got the ball in his hands, and it's 5, 6, 7, 8 yards, and then some.
He's shown already today that he can do that, so it's not necessarily the occasion or anything getting to him, it's just those 2 plays, and we all have him. It's just about getting back in the right headspace to get himself.
Definitely a mismatch in the slot here. Number 9, Jamie, the guy that's covering him, sort of different build, more of a linebacker type, on a slot receiver. Something they can
Slot
take
seam
advantage.
here would be nice. As you can see, we're into the 4th quarter now as Gavin rolls out to his right. Oh, it's out of the reach of 88. And that will bring up 3rd down, we believe, for the Lions. 4th down for the Lions.
Yeah.
Oh.
And that's an incomplete pass on 3rd down.
And that is a 2-minute warning for the Birmingham Lions. Looks like we're going to punt the ball away here. Oh no, Gavin's going to get a call. It's not quite do or die for the Lions because of the timeouts here, but they could really do with this completion and this conversion of this.
Yeah, really need to convert here. The Lions do have 3 timeouts, so they can stop the clock 3 times if they give the ball back to OBU, but love a conversion here. We're getting towards the crunch time in this game.
It's going to be a pass we expect from Gavin, and it is. Big ball up the seam. It's exactly what we were after. And it's picked off. At the end of the day, it's not the worst thing that could have happened for the Lions. Brooks will get the ball at around the 15. It looks like the ball went out of bounds. And it's essentially worked as an arm punt.
It was an arm punt, essentially. But I think it's what I said again before about the sort of the trajectory of Gavin's passes. They're quite flat. It's tough for number 9 to kind of adjust his course and adjust to the ball in the air. He had the mismatch. If there's a little bit more sort of air on the ball, he can make his way over to it.
Number 6 there coming out with the ball. Kazanovski's done a great job off the bobble. Looks like there was some kind of penalty, maybe. Could have been abs on the pick there. Do apologise if I've got your name wrong. However, the result's the same. Birmingham give the ball up, and it is on the 30 of the Birmingham Lions.
So 1 or 2 first downs for Oxford Brookes now, and you'll kind of win the game. But you haven't been able to run the ball. But you want to keep the clock moving, so you kind of have to run the ball. So they're in a sticky situation in their own right. Do you pass it and risk stopping the clock? Or do you just run the ball, accept that maybe you might not pick up a first down the way the Birmingham defence have been playing the run, but you'll make them use all the timeouts. So.
Indeed. So Oxford Brookes' decision to make now. Do we go for the run? It is a run play up the middle, and it is a huge one. Kobe can't quite make the tackle at the 30. Down in bounds. It's huge play for Oxford Brookes. It's not quite going to finish the game, but it is a difficult situation for the Lions to be in right now.
Yeah, commentators curse a little bit there. You've been praising the run defence, as it has been so good all game, but finally it gives way a little bit. I think Lions ran a blitz into one of sort of the holes, and they just luckily ran the ball through the other one, was where the play was designed to go. So not ideal now.
Ted Jarrett coming across to make an amazing tackle there, which was a touchdown saver. Owen Ohawari couldn't quite make the tap tackle. Timeout for the Lions. We stopped the clock. We'll see how it goes now for the Lions. It's going to have to come up with something big.
Yeah, turnover to some degree, or it's going to be very little time left on the clock, if at all. OBU probably could ice the game now.
And it's Holmes in the backfield with his running back. 4 receivers out wide. And it's run again. That's a big tackle in bounds.
Lions defense still there. Babiagani with a big hit.
And they're just going to run this down, or Oxford Brooks. We're going to take a timeout from the Birmingham Lions here again.
Yeah, you kind of have to take your timeouts here as Lions. As a guess, there's probably about a minute left in the game, but you still can stop the clock 3 times. So there's still a chance.
And that is a 30-second timeout to the Birmingham Lions. They won't need it. Oxford Brooks will take the time, scheme up some yardage, hopefully, get him that first down, which will likely yield the win.
Yeah, if there's any wrinkles left in their prayer book that they've not used to this point, you can scheme up some yardage with them just to get this crucial first down here.
And they come out with a heavy set to the left. Or just maybe a different lineman there. We have Holmes again in the backfield. It's a low snap, does well to corral it. Babiagani again in on the tackle. Reliable as ever.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Oxford have had this running back in the game, number 22 yet. It's Alessio is we've got on the name sheet, but he's on this drive has been running much better than all the other Oxford Brooks running backs up to now. So he's coming through the line at a fair rate, tough to tackle. Perhaps doing the best he can there on these last 2 players. So still calling timeouts Birmingham to try and stop this clock.
Got a feeling, if you're Brooks here, do you even go for the field goal, or do you just run the ball again on 4th down, kill the clock even more? You've got to wait for you've got to get the Birmingham Lions out on the field.
Well, field goal ices the game, ultimately.
Yeah.
If it was me, I'd kick the field goal on 4th down here, or try. Field goals definitely aren't a given thing in British American football, but I think this is the most important play of the game that's about to happen now.
Here we go. This is crucial for the Birmingham Lions. 4 out wide for Oxford Brooks. Holmes takes snap, hands it off down the middle. And it's a run to the outside. And it's out of bounds, which is massive for the Birmingham Lions. Doesn't pick up the first down. And that will stop the clock.
Yeah, it's 4th down now. He's just gone out of bounds, so the clock stopped. So decisions to be made. Do you kick the field goal? Do you try and pick up the first down and essentially win the game if you pick up this first down? Big time decisions to be made. I think Calvin Stitt's just getting a clock, sort of a time check from the referee on how long's left.
They taking a timeout here, maybe Oxford Brooks? Would be the only team that have any left, because Birmingham Lions have taken all of their 3. Big decisions for Calvin Stitt. As you said, the Lions will go over, listen to Chris Mitchell, see if there's any more knowledge he can give him.
And so Oxford Brooks are gesturing about taking a knee down here, but don't see how they can do that on 4th down with the clock stopped unless there is literally 1 second left on the clock.
We'll see how this goes here for Oxford Brooks. Obviously, we know that taking a knee against the Birmingham Lions doesn't always yield the result that you want, but we will see. Have they asked for a measure of the ball here, maybe? Just having a look where the referee's spotting the ball. Are we going to get in a situation where we run out the chains?
All right, guys.
We are going to get a measure on the chains here.
Big shout when the play starts to support your Birmingham defense as they try.
So this is a crucial point here. So if the chain team come out and determine that this is a first down for Oxford Brooks, that's essentially the game.
I do think it's a bit of wishful thinking, though. I think they're at least a yard short. Maybe about to eat my words, though. Yeah, they're short. They're short.
It's 4th down. We'll see how Oxford Brooks get on here. We imagine a run, potentially, but they could look to hit one of those short passes. At this point, from the defensive point of view, I'm probably looking at man coverage here and press man coverage. I don't want to see any short passes completed.
Yeah, I think a couple of drives ago to pick this up, I would have said you kind of passed the ball given how they couldn't run the ball, but this drive they have been able to. So 22's not out on the field though, so Biggest play of the game. Here we
Crowd
go.
energy is massive right now. We've got a really tight split from the O-line here on the right-hand side and the left-hand side. We've got an expectation of a run here from Oxford Brookes. This is the game, and it's straight up the middle, stuffed by Birmingham. We're going to have to see where they spot this ball. We need to see where they spot this ball. Oxford Brookes is celebrating already, and it looks like
First down, Oxford Brookes.
and it's been given as a first down for Oxford Brookes, and that's the game.
I think that will be game. It'll just take a couple of knees now to sort of knee the game out, run the last couple of seconds off the clock, and it will be an Oxford Brookes victory here at Explosion.
And I think we can't do anything but give credit to Oxford Brookes. This has been an excellent game defensively from both sides of the ball. It comes down to moments, and that's what situations like this are. And it looks like that's game over. Oxford Brookes celebrate wildly. They taunt the crowd. That's certainly something.
Yeah, listen, this has been a defensive battle, really. Two great defenses. But the moments, like you said, happened. The big play down here in this end zone, that's what was the difference. The Lions had opportunities with moments. They had passes down the field. They had receivers open, but just couldn't quite make the play when they needed to.
Hey, look, it's been an excellent game from both teams. I hope that both teams deal with this bit with a bit of grace. Games like this create a lot of emotions, and that's what Calvin Stitt's going to be saying to his players right now. He's going to want them to do this gracefully. And the same thing from the Birmingham Lions. We've had situations before where there's been issues with it, but what we want to see at this point is captains line up, both teams line up, get the handshakes done, and have Oxford Brookes celebrate rightly as they should a great victory today.
Yeah, 100%. Football is a game of respect at the end of the day, so the players will shake hands. It's been a great game, been a great evening. Low scoring, but nonetheless, great moments, hard hits of that nature. But yeah, football is a game of respect, so I'm sure both sides will be.
And do stick around because we're going to be hearing from some of the winning players, some of the losing players as well. Again, one thing I'd say is the Birmingham Lions have got a long way to go in this season. They're 1-1 now. They played a great game today on defense. They just need to pick it up on the offensive side of the ball, and they'll be in a good place. And they've shown glimpses today of the team that they can be, especially running the ball.
I think this is something that will always happen in football. Offenses take longer to come together than defenses. It's a bit more complicated. There's a few more moving parts. It's ultimately Oxford Brookes have had one more game of experience than the Lions. So, yeah.
It was always going to be a difficult game against a team that's essentially gone 10 undefeated, realistically.
Yeah, they've got great pedigree. They're a great team. So, I'm sure the Lions will go back to work. They'll be ready for the next game. And I truly do think these are probably the two best teams in the conference in the division. So,
yeah, I think it's an interesting one to see where the Lions go from here. Games upcoming against the Oxford Lancers, so that's the team from the University of Oxford, against UEA, who is a consistent opponent of the Birmingham Lions over the last few years, one that they'll be very familiar with. Going down to Norwich and playing East Anglia and playing on that grass field is a fun place to go.
And the Lions the Lions had their number fairly consistently over the last couple of years. So a lot still ahead of them. Don't take the highs, don't take the lows too bad. So
there is now the Lions are doing a really nice job of clapping up the fans who have come out to see. It is a great crowd that they've had out here today. And thanking you guys on the stream as well, obviously, for watching along. There were some great moments for the Lions. We saw some big hits. We saw the interception from Kobe, did a great job there. There's plays that they left on the field, we know that. But again, at the end of the day, it's a long season.
Long season. And again, will not take any credit away from Oxford Brookes. They were outstanding on defence and did what they needed to do on offence, especially to bleed the clock out on that last drive. They could have easily not picked up a first down there. They'd struggled running the ball throughout the game, but when they absolutely needed to, they moved the ball and iced the game.
We talked about it as the commentator's curse, but essentially they just adjusted really well, didn't they? If you have a look at the key plays in that game, it was deep pass down the sideline right at the end of the first half. and that run up the middle, which we wouldn't have expected necessarily from the Oxford Brookes team, considering the rest of what happened the rest of the way. They've played excellently. They played very well on defense, and they've shown the flashes on offense that they needed to win the game.
And the big play, the touchdown that they had, was a result of keep going back to the well of underneath passing to the flats, and then finally hitting them over the top, which is sort of like the direct counter to that. So it's good offensive play calling, and it's just good execution at a time where they needed to. So yeah.
Exactly. So the Birmingham Lions will go away, lick their wounds, come back against the teams in the rest of the division, and they'll want their get back on Oxford Brookes when they go down there later in the year.
Yeah.
From me and James, we're going to be signing off now and sending ourselves down to presenters so that you can see some reaction from some of the players. But aside from that, thanks very much, and we will see you again very soon.
Yeah, it's been a great evening, and goodbye from us. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for sort of the chat. Oh, we can't see it, but thanks for everyone in the chat as well. So yeah, we'll pass down to the commentators in a second, and you'll hear some post-game interviews from players, coaches, winning and losing. So yeah.
So much. Thank you so much, James and Milo. You guys did an amazing job. It was so much fun hearing from you throughout the game and hearing your opinions and comments and your expertise, of course. So we are now going to hear from the team captain of the University of Birmingham, our Birmingham Lions.
So with the theme Pride Never Dies, how will you follow on from this to keep the momentum going?
We'll regroup together as a team, just like a lion pride.
Your mic isn't picking up, man.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
We'll regroup together as a team, take it back to the drawing board, reanalyze what our mistakes were, what went well, and next game, next week, it's a new story.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much. Yeah, definitely. Of course, as we know, the theme tonight is Pride Never Dies. And I can imagine that you'll be trying to follow on from this and keeping the momentum going and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So what are you most proud of, for your players today?
I'm just proud of everyone for giving everything they had for 4 quarters, and we got to put on a performance for our lovely UOB crowd, so I can't ask for anything more than that.
Yeah. And is there anything you've learned from this game, and if so, what is that?
I think I've really learned the power of a collective team. When you're down, everyone coming together, mustering all the power that they've got in them to all work towards to win the game, obviously.
Good. Do you have any feedback you expect to give the team?
Like I said, we'll go back to the drawing board, reanalyze what we did well, what we did wrong. Next week, new story.
Definitely. And of course, you are team captain, and I can imagine the players, your teammates will be expecting to hear from you. What's something you want them to take away from this?
I think today was a test of character. We found out who we really were. We fought until the very end. And I want players to be able to realize the level that they played to today and build on that momentum.
Yeah, and what would you say was your highlight from this season?
The season so far, well, I'd have to say the win last week against Hearts. And then Cobby's interception in the game, I thought that was a game changer, but unfortunately it didn't go our way today.
Great, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
It's been lovely hearing from you, and really good game. You should be proud of yourselves.
Yeah.
Well done.
Thank you, guys.
So you heard it here, that was our team captain today, and we are going to now be joined by our next interviewee, by our next player. By our next 2 players, actually. Could we please have your names and what you do in the team?
Yeah, your positions.
My name is Sean Shoyabi. I'm the club president.
I'm Eddie. I'm offensive captain.
And what does that entail for you tonight? How was that tonight on the pitch for you?
Should we go first? Sorry, I didn't hear the question.
How was that on the pitch for you tonight, for what you do as well?
Okay, should we go first?
From the offensive perspective, we just weren't we weren't at it today. We weren't good enough. We put up 0 points. That's never what should happen, especially at a home game with everyone cheering us on. That's motivation, but we're going to use this as motivation instead next time we play Brookes.
Yeah. And from this, what have you learned from the game?
I would say that we learned that we're a resilient team on both sides of the ball. but there are points when we can execute better. On defense, we can be more disciplined in the 4th and 3rd downs, and on offense, we can get our 4th down conversions and really look to move the ball down the field and eventually into the end zone.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, despite the loss today, it's been a really big game for you guys, and you have played quite well. So, like, were there any standout moments that you're really proud of, like your teammates and yourselves tonight?
I'm proud of Femi today. He's essentially a rookie. He was with us last year, but at 17 he couldn't play. He stepped in at running back. Our starter Seps is injured and he did a great job. He had to come off a couple times for niggling injuries, but he smashed it today. I'm proud of him.
On the defensive side, I would say Kobe, number 14, getting the interception. He's someone that's been battling injuries and doubt us for all of his 3 years here. He's the one that even got me into the sport. And for him to get that interception today, it did the whole defense proud, did the whole team proud, and I'm proud of him.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, we actually saw like an injury on the field today, didn't we? What was that like for you guys? What was running through your head in that moment?
Yeah.
I would say I have trust in our physios, in the medics that are here, and simply what it boils down to is strength and conditioning outside, off the pitch, warming up properly at half-time. You know, with the spectacle going on, it was a bit hard to stay focused during warm-ups for some of the younger players. So ensuring that we're warming up properly, strength and conditioning outside of the gym, taking it seriously, that's what I would say. That's how we deal with those injuries.
Yeah, injuries are never nice, but they're part of the game. Unfortunately, they happen, and you just can't just work your best through them, really. That's all you can do.
Yeah, and what are you going to take from this game? How are you going to go moving forward? What's next for the Lions?
For me, this is just going to fuel us more. I'm angry. I'm angry we lost the Explosion. We've been embarrassed at our own home pitch. Next time we play Brooks, we're going to hit them hard and hit them so much stronger than we did today.
Yeah, that's right.
Even though I'm club president and in my final year, this is my first and last Explosion, so losing it definitely is going to be a sour feeling, but it's a part of the story, and hopefully I want to circle back to this in March, come finals for the National Cup, National Shield, whatever it's called, and we can circle back to this and look back on it quite fondly as just part of the story.
Thank you so much. We've learned lessons. Thank you so much. It's been so great hearing from you guys.
Likewise.
Enjoy
Cheers.
the rest of your
well
evening.
done tonight.
Thank
you
you.
so much.
You too, guys.
Thank you.
Cheers. Bye-bye. Thank you. So we are now going to be going to some Oxford Brooks, our Oxford Brooks captains. They've just come off a strong victory tonight, so we'll be hearing from them now. Honestly, it's been great hearing from our own team as well.
It's been so good.
Yeah, it's been so great, but this is a whole other vibe we've got coming on. Come on in. So who are we talking to today? Who are we joined by?
Names and positions.
So I'm Alex. I play wide receiver. I'm also the president.
I'm Abs. I play defensive end, sometimes linebacker. I'm the vice president.
Okay. So before the game, like to kind of get in the right headspace, do you have any like pre-game rituals or like good luck rituals that you have to get you in the right headspace?
I think on the way here, like we were just like, we told everyone like, look, we're 30 minutes out, drown out the noise, put your headphones on, lock in, walk together, change together. Like, that sounded crazy, but like we walk together and we just do everything together, but all in silence. We locked it in up until fucking like the right start of the game, and we just locked in and we just showed out. It could have been a little better if you ask me, but you know what? They're gonna come again at Oxford this time. They're gonna come to our house and we're gonna show them. That's it.
Well, I'd just like to say massive congratulations to both of you. Obviously, it's a huge game. You did really well last season as well. How are you feeling after this like huge victory? It must be great.
I mean, this one was harder than the other ones. We've worked a lot harder for it, and I think it's just even like feels even better for us.
In what way was that harder for you tonight, would you say?
I think, I'll be real, I don't know what it is. For us, we just played a game against Oxford. That's our like big like Derby Cup. For me, that was big. But I don't know, like literally on my way here, I was like, shit, this is gonna be like a big one. Just because a lot of people watching, did like the way this like the game was organized and presented, it was like a really big thing.
Yeah.
That kind of making it a big thing for us as well. Do you know what I'm saying? So that pressure comes along with it. That's, I think. So yeah, I don't know. I don't really know how to answer that question. I'm just happy that we got it done. That's it.
And from this success, do you have anyone to like shout out for your victory?
The whole team.
We'll shout out the whole team. We'll also shout out the physios that came today, coaches, and Josh Rowan and Nick Wykes, old coaches that have sadly passed away from us now, that they inspire us every day, and we train for them, work hard for them every single day. So for that.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. That's really
Thank
good
you
to
so
hear.
much.
Thank you very much for having us.
What do you
Thank you for
think
having
of
us.
like the energy? I'm so sorry. What do you think of like the energy in the crowd tonight? How's that been for you?
It was directed at the wrong team, I'll tell you that. You know.
Hey, I'll be real. If you got, hey, I don't know if the camera can see this stuff. You got a hell of people here. You guys need to be louder. For next year, I don't want to be hearing our team like getting a word in. Like you guys need to be like. I literally looked around like, bro, are you really not cheering for your team right now? Like you guys need to do better. It sounds crazy.
More cheering
but
for the
do better.
cheerleaders than for the actual football team.
Yeah, bro, you're coming here to watch like people get sparked out. Like get a little energy up.
More energy.
That's all I gotta say.
Are you guys? Do you think that it would be like this on your home turf? How's it going to be going back to your home turf now, playing your next game, and hopefully winning that one as well?
I mean, we've got what 4 weeks until we play these guys at home.
Yeah,
4 weeks. So we're just going to spend that time preparing. The home field advantage will help. We've had to travel here today, so we won't have to travel as far for the home game, obviously. But
just to add on to that, I think like we came to you guys. You see what I'm saying? And I feel like, bro, it was a proper fight. Some of the people really bought out on Birmingham team, and I really fucking respect that. I think now that they're going to come to Oxford, we're going to try everything our best, like everything in our power to like, that's our house, you see what I'm saying? So we're going to keep it clean, that's it.
We treat every game as a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
so
that's it.
No difference.
Well done for the win.
Thank you so much. It's been so good hearing from you. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Cheers, guys.
Bye-bye. So we are now going to hear from two of our Pussycats from the cheer squad, our two performers. Could you tell us your name and what you do?
My name's Megan and I'm the head dance coach of this season.
My name's Gina and I'm the head cheer coach of this season.
So, guys, you're incredible.
Thank
It was insane. Do you have like a
Thank
favourite
you.
moment from today?
I honestly think just everything.
Yeah,
Being out
real.
there all together as a team
Yeah.
was just the most incredible feeling and I wish we could do it all again.
Yeah, literally the feeling at the end of the routine when we knew everything had gone perfectly, like as we planned, everything hit, like I was just so proud of everyone, and that was definitely the best moment. Yeah.
I mean, the performance had like a lot of different elements to it as well. Like, what was your favorite move, your favorite piece of music? Like,
I definitely think pom and pyramid, where we're dancing with the poms in front and then they're doing pyramid behind, because we're all together doing different things, but it's really cool because there's just so much to look at, and yeah, it's great.
Yeah, definitely pyramid. That was like my favorite part and like my favorite bit of choreography that I choreographed. Yeah, definitely the pyramid.
Yeah. And I'm sure like beforehand there must have been like some nerves. Like what was the atmosphere like with the anticipation? Like how did you get yourself like pumped?
It
when you
was,
performed?
yeah, it was nerves, but it was
Yeah.
good nerves.
Yeah.
We all got into the studio beforehand and we just kind of gave some hype words to each other and went through a few things and just, yeah, we just hyped each other up beforehand.
Everyone was just so confident, like before we went on. Like I feel like no one was really worried. They were just excited,
Yeah.
which made it better because everyone was just excited to perform to the crowd.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was good.
definitely. I can imagine that like you spent a lot of hours sort of like training for this and do it in the studio and like working on your moves. Was there like a moment in like rehearsals where it really clicked and you're like, this is it, like this is going to be it for us, this is really good?
I think definitely our first full out.
Yeah.
We do, because we do each bit in parts, and then when we did our first full out and put everything together,
What's a
it was
full out,
like
sorry?
a full out's where basically we do every single section put together, so the whole routine put together, rather than doing it in parts.
Yeah.
And doing that for the first time, where we did the whole 5-minute routine all together, was just like, okay, this
Yeah.
is gonna be amazing.
The vision like came to life, and then that's when it just like clicked, and we were like, wait, this is going to be like so good.
Yeah.
So
did you like
yeah.
have a favourite like song to dance to when you heard it? You were like, oh my god.
I feel like all our songs that we chose worked really well together.
Yeah.
So I liked all of them. I couldn't choose a favourite.
No. Yeah.
So now the like explosion is over, of course you guys are competing in like competitions with other universities as well. Like what's next for your team? What's happening? When is that going on?
Well, we do performances throughout the year. So we have a performance team that is specifically for different performances for rugby, hockey, all the different sports, basketball, all of that. So we do those throughout the year. And then when we get to about March time is when we go do our comps and we compete against unis across the country.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Also in February we have our own super series which is called Full Out, where we showcase all of our teams. We've got like dance teams and cheer teams, and we do this routine again in February. So yeah,
That's what we'll be doing. We have our own super series.
That sounds like a lot of fun. It sounds amazing. And I'm sure it will rack up a crowd like this as well. So thank you so much. It was lovely talking to you.
Thank you. Enjoy celebrating.
Thank you. So there you have it. That was the Birmingham Pussycats. And we are actually hearing from some of our own coaches now. So here they are. You guys can come on up. Hi, and nice to meet you. Could you please state your names and what you do on the team?
My name is Bomi. I'm the defensive line coach and one of the welfare coaches on the team as well.
Okay.
My name is Khalil, ex-player and running backs coach for the team.
So leading up to Explosion tonight, what is it that like your coaching team has been like working on? What do you do as individuals coaching to make sure that the players are like really getting there and getting to the standard that you want them to be at?
It's twofold really. The first thing is technically what do we need to do? We look at what to expect from the opposition. We know that Oxford Brookes, they run the ball a lot, so we need to get ready. Defensive line in particular have to be key to that kind of game. So we rep technically what we expect. And also just in terms of the mental elements of the game, general mental elements of the game, but also in Explosion as well. What to expect in Explosion with the crowds. How do you manage that? How do you manage emotions? And from a running back's perspective as well, Khalil can tell us more about what the running backs do, but there's also that technical elements they have to get ready for.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously running backs is a very hard position. And most of these kids, they come in, they have never played the sport before. So it's not always easy to teach them that much in a few weeks, obviously. So we go with the fundamentals, we start with the fundamentals. And as we go through the year, we start going a bit more into the details, technical. But yeah.
It was a really good game. What are you most proud of from your players today?
I think we've got the fireworks
may be
coming up.
starting now.
No
I'm so
worries.
sorry.
Thank
we
you
might
very
have
much.
to cut it short.
No problem. No worries. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Take care, guys.
It's been really great speaking to you guys. And
Thank you so much. Thank you for your
congratulations as well.
time.
It was a great game tonight, so you can be proud.
Thank you very much. Thanks for the work you do as well. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. We're going to have the fireworks now.
That should be coming
up soon. Oh, here's the countdown. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh!
Your husband is coming.